Star Sailor and Poor Misguided Fool. With me, Steve Merchant, and Karl Pilkington.
The K-Man, round of applause for K-Man.
Yeah.
But no one's announced who you are.
Ricky Gervais.
Ricky Gervais.
It's XFM 104.9.
Saturday afternoon. If you didn't know that, I don't know why I mentioned it. That was stupid, really. You must know that by now.
Well, we've got some great things coming up.
We have indeed.
We've got songs and chat and things.
We'll also, of course, be running through the white van man questions from the Sun again, but this time Karl will be answering them. I look forward to that.
Yeah.
Can we do that fairly soon? Oh, there's some good questions this week.
Yeah, we will, but as I was coming in, there was like a bunch of posh lads, I think university students, trying to get in, because they're doing one of those scavenger hunts that they have to get points for charity and do stuff, and one of theirs is get on a live radio show.
Right.
So I sort of felt sorry for them, so I said they could come on here, just for 5 minutes.
Who are
that's
they?
All right. They're just,
Are they toffs?
they are sort of like toffs, but they're trendy toffs. They're obviously...
Trendy toffs? I don't know
Yeah.
what's that. Is that like Lady Victoria Hervey? Is she a
No, I don't mean that, no. They're both sort of like that, Will of Pop Idol.
Right.
They're like him, sort of like trendy but posh.
Okay.
They seem nice enough, and they're doing it for a cancer charity, and they just get...
They got, for what is it, like they got their sponsor to do various...
Exactly, I
challenges?
don't know quite how it works, but they're gonna come on and, because we get, for coming on this live radio show, they get 17,000 points.
Right, good.
If I can put that in context,
Yeah.
if they were to say, to help deliver a baby, they only get 7,250 points.
But it's much easier.
It is. There's lots of women just
Happily
dropping
gonna let a couple of
sprogs
posh
all
posh.
over the place. You can't get on a live radio show these
Exactly,
days for love
exactly.
nor money.
That's true enough.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
When are they coming in?
Carl said they're going to just...
1:30, I had a word with them.
Okay, and what did you make of them?
They are posh.
Really?
But they said they're going to wander about and go and see if they can deliver a baby and that. And then come back here for 1:30. And I don't know if it...
I hope they don't like leave a baby sort of half out, you know, if they've got it, you know, they're push, sorry, we're going to have to shoot off, we've got to go
Yeah,
and see
we've got to play an instrument in a marching band for 8,500 points.
Well, I did say be here definitely at 1:30 because I don't want you getting in the way of the white van questions.
And the other thing is, right, they get 7,500 points for delivering a baby, but they get 9,000 points if they cut Peter Stringfellow's hair.
Well, he's very precious about his hair.
It's a more delicate operation, isn't
Absolutely.
it? There's more that can go wrong.
That's true enough.
Take an unconventional animal for a walk in a park. What is an
Unconventional animal?
I think that could be a dog that just doesn't play by the rules.
Yeah, that's a dog that's into Slipknot.
Yeah, that wheeze in a urinal.
Yeah, exactly.
Standing up.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward
Well,
to that.
yeah, I'm sure they're lovely guys. Good luck to them.
Yeah, we'll see you later. Nirvana, Man Who Sold the World. Carl's all confused because it didn't tell you it was ended, did it? What is that then? Is that a sort of glitch in the computer?
Just applause, isn't it? Careful, they might start swearing, you know what they're like.
Yeah.
Rock stars.
Yeah.
Their blue language.
Yeah, and all their habits and all
Oh.
that. Yeah, like it says track ending now. So it's a bit
Stop
late now,
talking about
isn't
it. That you're giving away all the secrets of radio and that. People think it's like an old piece of vinyl that we've put on a needle, you know, like those old bits of footage of Tony Blackburn. That's what they think it's like. They don't realise there's computers doing it all.
Yeah.
Rick, you're showing them behind the curtain. Never do that.
I won't.
Never do that, mate.
In the week, I called Karl up. I said, "How are you, mate?" He went, "Not too bad." Now, as you know, his girlfriend's been away for ages, hasn't she? Covering the World Cup, the African
Nations.
Cup. She's a sports journalist.
Well, yeah.
All right. Okay.
I love the fact you're thinking, what does that mean? Like, well, she's not much of a journalist, Rick, to be honest.
Oh.
I've read some of her stuff.
No, but she's not on air. She does stuff. You know.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Sure.
A lot of journalists do. You always want to make clear that you're not going out with Kate Adie. That's what you want to make clear, isn't it? Yeah. Now, so she'd seen none of the meteoric rise of Karl as a
Right, 'cause
broadcaster.
she's been away for the whole time
a
since you've sort of
raconteur,
become...
a wit,
Yeah.
a cult figure, to be honest. And he hadn't told her this, so apparently he went home and she was sitting there, looking a bit grumpy. He went, "All right," she went, "Yeah." She went, "Should we go out then?" She went, "I'm not sure I want to go out with an idiot." Right?
Oh, no!
Yeah, and she went, "Loch Ness Monster. Why don't you just think, of course the Loch Ness Monster lives in Loch Ness." And she was giving a bit of a hard time. And she went, he said, "That's why I didn't tell her. I didn't tell her really." Same thing happened when I was at school and I had to play drums in Little Donkey. I didn't tell my parents, right? But my dad turned up anyway. And what happened?
He
How old were you, Carl?
Well, it was the school that I used to go to.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah. You went. Well, you used to go to the school you used to go to.
no, but what I mean is,
on.
I didn't go to secondary, did I? Sort of missed a lot of that.
Sure.
But primary, I liked.
Oh,
it was
okay.
all colouring in and stuff.
Yep.
And it was a Christmas play, and I managed to get a part in it. And,
Did you audition?
got a part in it, and I should have been playing the drums to the one about Kings.
We Three Kings.
Yeah. I was meant to be doing that, but Little Donkey came on, and it was one of the.
What do you mean came on?
That was like next up on the next song.
Right.
And it's one of them songs that you can't help sort of
Tapping along to.
Yeah. Do you know like if I was to go
Yeah, you'd have to finish it with.
yeah. Do you know that they actually send that into space?
Do they?
And
What, hoping that aliens will respond with that?
yeah. They do that because apparently it is one of them things that you can't help.
What, even if you're an alien life form?
Yeah.
They know that, do they?
But anyway,
What, because they watch Star Trek or something?
Hello. Knock knock.
Yeah.
no, seriously.
Is it true, like, if you send out knock knock into space, they have to say,
Oggy, oggy. Ah, that is great.
Seriously.
Oh, hold on, what's something out there? Was a little green fellow? That is great.
Yeah. So anyway,
That is
Little Donkey is like one of them tunes that you can't. And I was there, and I had the drumstick, and I thought, oh god,
The drumstick.
I could feel myself. And anyway,
just wanted to do it, yeah.
I started going along and playing Little Donkey, which I wasn't meant to do, but it went down such a storm.
What, were there people like parents and that dozing off, and then suddenly they heard your version of Little Donkey, and they thought, wait a minute, now it's really picking up.
What do you mean?
I'm glad we paid £1.50 for this.
What do you mean it went down such a storm? I'm going, hold on, was it like when
People have
Ringo...
lighters in the air.
You know, like when Ringo joined the Beatles, now
Yeah.
going, boo, Pete Best, but he went...
Yeah,
And I went, whoa! Oh,
No,
God.
but the teacher just said, oh, it went down really well, you can do that again tonight,
Right.
when you're in it again. But anyway, so my dad was there, and...
And you hadn't told him about this performance, so
No, I
he
never
just
did.
turned up
I
off
never
his own
did.
back.
I never took the letters home and stuff to
No.
show my mum and dad because it just put me off. So anyway, he turned up. Don't know why. He must have heard from someone else's dad.
Yeah.
He turned up and he swore about me, which
Did he?
I don't.
Could you use
do you
a
think
word
it's allowed
that's...
to be said? The word,
Of course it is.
right? If you got a kid in the car or anything, you can turn it down now. can't you?
Yeah.
Right? But he said. There was a guy stood next to him with a camera, big video camera, filming it. And he said, yeah, film it, but try and avoid getting the twat in the hat in the shot. Because I had one of those porters, you know, the little round pork pie hats on.
Right.
This is so sad.
What, was this a nativity play?
It was about Jesus and stuff.
Yeah, well, there was a porter there helping him with his
Of course
bags.
there was, I forgot.
I
yeah.
mean, Mary and
What,
Joseph,
managing the
they got
stable?
there. Yeah, because it was the whole, you know, because the inn was full.
Yeah.
But I think the porter doubled up with the inn and the stable.
Right, that was nice.
So
of
he,
him.
yeah,
He
yeah,
carry bags over, yeah.
yeah, no, so yeah.
You're right, though. I don't know why I was wearing one of them. But I was. And
And your father said that, and how did you know your father said that? Did you
he told
hear
me
it?
about it later.
Oh, he told you about it later?
Yeah, I was talking about stuff I'd done at school, and he said, oh, God, remember that. And I spoke to him the other day about it.
Right.
And, yeah,
Oh, God.
it's a shame.
So that was the end of your sort of drumming career, really? Because it could have been, I mean, you know, the audience loved it the night before.
Yeah.
You could have, like, been, who knows, a whole new world for you.
Yeah,
Have you done any stuff?
I've never drummed. I wish I had, man.
that is
That's a movie story, but...
is that, and that's why you don't tell, your mum and dad don't know you on the radio, do
they
they?
think when they were down the other weekend, they had to come in here. I just said, I'll just go in and press the buttons.
Because they could listen on Sky Digital, couldn't they?
They could do.
But you wouldn't want that, would you?
I don't want that.
No. Play
Karl-
a record, I want to talk to you again a little bit about this later.
Yeah.
Right.
Princess Superstar, Bad Babysitter, first played on this show by Steve Merchant, by Bad Steve Merchant.
That's true
By Steve Scratch Merchant.
That's
I mean, I still like that, but the videos put me off it a little bit, because it's just, it makes it into the novelty record it always had the potential of being. Do you know what I mean?
I agree. Although I was never a big fan of Bad Babysitter was not my favourite from the album.
Sure. Sure.
If people want my interest and my views on hip-hop, then they can always email in, Rick, of course.
Or call you at home.
Just give me a ring at home, no problem.
Yeah.
Or I just pop out and hang with them in the hood.
Yeah, sure, sure.
yeah.
Now it's time for White Van Man.
White Van Man. Yes, for
explain
those
what it is.
that don't buy The Sun, they think it's beneath them. White Van Man is a column they have, I think, every day, actually, and they just get sort of some, Joe Public to kind of comment on the week's news. Just seems to me, that it might be interesting to get Karl's views on some of the big events.
Not because we think that Karl hasn't got a valid sort of viewpoint. No. Because Karl sees the world differently to some people. That's all. And that's what's interesting. Like an artist does, or
exactly. Yeah, he's very bohemian in his outlook.
Yeah.
Do you feel that you're up to scratch on this week's news?
I don't like this bit.
Do you?
Don't just relax.
Why not?
It's pressure.
No, because you just have to give us your first opinion.
For your honest answer, that's all we've ever asked of you, Karl, and it's all you've ever given us. Your honest, your first from the heart view, yeah? Don't worry, just relax.
Just chill in.
Are you worried that people are listening and thinking you're an idiot?
If my girlfriend's listening now, go and have a wash or something.
Go and have a wash.
Not very nice, is it? Is it the opposite of Napoleon and Josephine? Yeah, go on. If you're going to visit me again, Josephine, for Christ's sake, wash.
Well, I'll ease you in with something fairly easy, a music-based question. Kylie Minogue versus Dido as Queen of the Brits. What's your view there?
Go and have a wash.
It doesn't really matter, does it?
It doesn't really matter.
What doesn't really matter?
With the Brits. I was watching it the other night, and I think Kylie will be a good-looking old woman.
Okay.
Do you ever do that sort of stuff?
Steve, I want to celebrate with you. Every time he opens his mouth, it doesn't matter. I want us to open a bottle of champagne.
I know what you mean.
Do you know what I mean? It's sort of like we did that.
Yes.
No, do you ever do that, though? Look at people, and another person who springs to mind, Jenny Powell. I don't think she's that good-looking now.
Who's Jenny Powell? Is she that girl that used to be the assistant on Wheel of Fortune?
Yeah, I think she's a bit over the top for a young woman. But when she gets older, I think she'll
be a bit of a stunner. Okay. So for you, Kylie, whereas you don't feel that about Dido, is that right?
She's alright, she's normal. I prefer Kylie's sister to Kylie. She looks, I can imagine her being hard work to live with. And
who, Kylie?
Not being washing up and that. And
right, sure.
Being a bit fussy.
Okay. And what do you make of taxes rising in the next budget to pay for NHS improvements?
Well, my dad went to hospital to have an operation once.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's worth paying it, because I've got something.
Because people might have to go to hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it makes a change when it's someone in your family, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because you sort of realise...
Yeah, a change is as good as a rest.
And the weird thing is, if it weren't for me dad, I wouldn't be here doing this show, because when he was in hospital...
Well, no, I'll stop you there.
Yeah.
To be honest, that's all you need to know.
You wouldn't be here, true, but no. But
well, no, because this was after I was born. So, I would be here.
But his more direct involvement was what?
Yeah, because when my mum was seeing me dad in the hospital, I got a bit bored, went for a wander, found the hospital radio station...
Yeah.
And got a gig.
Really? So, in a real sense, if it wasn't for Karl's dad, Karl wouldn't be here.
And did your dad, while he was listening to you, did he, sort of tap the nurse and go, can you get that twat off the air?
Who's put him in that?
Yeah.
Oh, go on.
Okay, what do you make of the real-life Mowgli who's surviving in a Transylvanian countryside? Apparently, I don't know much about this story.
I don't know.
You know Mowgli, he's the guy from the Jungle Book.
Yeah.
The little kid that grew up with bears and animals and stuff. Apparently there's a real-life one in Transylvania.
What were the things in Gremlins?
What were the what? In Gremlins they were...
Wait. Okay, this is an example. This is what your girlfriend said. Think. What were the things in Gremlins called?
I can't remember.
Really...
It's something like that, isn't it?
No, wait. Just really think now, Karl. Just with everything you've ever... With all the brain power you've ever used, think what the things in Gremlins were called.
It's not there.
There's a clue here.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
They're not.
What?
Gremlins.
Yeah.
Play a record, Karl.
Well, we're back, and there's a few more people here.
Absolutely, well done.
Yeah.
Well observed.
Yeah. Do you want to say hello?
Yeah,
Hi guys.
And what are you doing here?
This is Mark and James, or Sco and Belch, and we're here.
Sorry, your names are what?
Sorry, say the last bit again. Or what?
Sco and Belch.
Sco and Belch?
Yeah, that's right.
Do you want to explain that?
No.
No, from the drinking
story.
games, I imagine.
Yeah.
We've got worse names than that, but it's radio, so...
Sure.
Now, you're presumably students?
We've just we kind of graduated. We've been in work about a year or two.
And what do you do?
I work for a management consultancy.
I work for a distribution company up in Birmingham.
Well, okay. Now, what you're doing is a scavenger hunt, and you're raising for cancer charity
Research.
Right,
Yeah.
and you've got to do. And this is we're just helping you out here because for 17,000 points, you have to get live on a TV or radio show.
That's exactly it.
So
and
here we are.
That's why we're here. Yeah.
Do you ever listen to XFM?
I know of it. Yeah. I listened to it a few times.
Sure. What kind of music, what kind of sounds would you normally be into?
I love cheesy radio, sort of school disco, sort of, 80s stuff.
Sure. Sorry, what was your name again?
Mark, or Sco.
Okay. And you're...
Belch.
And what sort of sounds would you be grooving to, Bel?
Cheesy.
UK garage?
Well,
Craig David.
a bit of house just very occasionally, a bit of cheese. It depends what kind of mood I'm in, you know.
Now, you don't listen much, but I mean, kiss a celeb, because Karl...
Yeah, we actually want to do that with you, Ricky, is that all right?
No.
That's not going to happen with
okay.
Ricky, but Karl's now got his name mentioned in Heat magazine.
Is that right? Well, that's
If you want to
brilliant.
snog Karl, we'd love to see that.
I mean, we don't want to snog Karl, but I mean, we were thinking if there was kind of a female presenter here, we might be able to do something, but
What are you saying?
A female placenta?
well, if you've got one.
Have you seen some of the female presenters that work on XFM?
Oh, placenta.
Is that why they're on radio?
I thought you said placenta.
That's unlikely.
I know, well, now what's the other things you've got to do here?
So what are some of the things you've done already?
Well,
See, some of these worry me, like start a fire in Pudding Lane
Oh, we've done that already.
for 4,700 points.
Well, I'll tell you what we have done. We've been on Phantom of the Opera stage already.
Have you?
Yeah, we just asked the stage door guy. And,
That wasn't during the show, I see.
No.
and that's right. He actually mentioned that. We shouldn't speak about that too.
Otherwise he'll get sacked.
But he was really kind to let us on.
We've jumped in Trafalgar Square Water with doing a sort of Friends impersonation, so that was...
Right.
How many points
pretty
did you get
cool.
for that?
We got 2,000 points for that. We got
Right.
8,000 points for being on the stage at Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah.
And we get double that. We get like 18,000 points, which is almost the maximum for being here right now.
Really?
So that's
well,
absolutely great.
Honestly, I wouldn't worry about the little things. I'd go for the big.
Yeah, that's it.
We're
We're not interested in the little stuff. We want to go for the big stuff.
Yeah.
So what the big ones are? Get on stage with S Club 7. That's not going to happen, is it? When have you got till 6 today?
Well, S Club 7 are on at the London Arena at about 2 o'clock. So,
Good luck.
but
Okay.
I think it's going to be very, very difficult to get on there. But you never
I
know.
think so. Yeah. Get in the vaults of a bank.
Yeah, you got any ideas?
Some of these are bordering on the illegal. That's 20,000 points for that. Like getting a cage at London Zoo. Don't do that. I mean, just 10,000 points, but don't do it unless it's a penguin cage.
Well, that's what we were hoping. Just some kind of timid animal we might be alright with. You know?
Yeah, sure.
If anyone's got any good ideas for sort of funky things to do on air, then
Okay, well, if you leave your number and anyone calls in, they can help you with anything.
Well, maybe some of S Club 7 are listening.
let's hope so, because I mean we love them to bits.
If they are, it is for charity, and the points get awarded into money for colon cancer research. So it'd be absolutely fantastic if we could.
Yeah, so Bradley, John, Tina, if you're listening.
Yeah, if you're listening, or any celebrity out there who's a female celebrity, we need to snog them. It doesn't
Hold
need to be a
on,
long
wait a minute,
snog,
wait a minute.
but if we can, that'd be great.
This is good for 7,000 points. This looks like a good one. Play the organ in a church. That must be easy.
Is that a metaphor?
Yeah, but you know what church people are like.
It says the bigger the better, so it might be.
That's got to be euphemism.
Yeah, it's got to be, hasn't it? Yeah. Well, thanks very much. Good luck.
Good luck, guys.
Guys,
Get
thanks
a
very much.
Thank you very
Frenchman
much.
standing outside Les Mis looking Miz.
That's going to happen.
That's good.
Man, a big gun type thing on the HMS Belfast.
That won't
Well, we've got a
happen.
big gun, it's just finding the boat, which is the problem.
Oh,
so.
calm down. What was your name? Bo? Poe?
No.
Poe?
Let's go.
Go. Thanks very much.
Guys, thank you very, very much. Cheers.
Cheers. Bye. The streets, let's push things forward on XFM 104.9, the home of charity.
That's true enough.
Yeah. I've got to slow down because I'm doing a little bit too much for charity. I've got to worry about myself sooner or later. Do you know what I mean? No, come on. We were halfway through White Van Man.
We were
before
indeed, yes.
Those lads came in.
Getting Karl's views on some of the big stories of the week
Yeah.
from the news. Karl, what do you make of the fact that the British Olympic curling team won a gold medal?
I watched it.
Uh-huh.
I thought it was really good. The only thing that's getting on my nerves now is like, what was that?
Is that a trombone player just sneaked in?
That was me moving this microphone.
Right.
That was incredible, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What an amazing noise.
The only thing is,
That shouldn't sound like that, should it? That's incredible. What a shoddy tin pot station this is.
Well, we know that.
Sorry, Karl.
Go on.
is like in all the papers now, in like the, the Star and the Sun all week, they've been like traipsing models over a bit of granite. Do you know like how those things are made out of granite? The things they throw,
Oh, yeah.
and it just that bit annoys me.
Okay.
The way
What, the
that,
Daily Star?
No, the way that this sport, nobody had ever sort of heard of it a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
We win a gold medal,
Yeah.
and now in the papers it's like
They've gone crazy. They've gone curling
right over
mad.
it.
Yeah.
It's a good game though.
Yeah. Good. Okay, next.
All right, good. Let me see. What about the fact that the world's tallest man is living in a semi in Neasden?
It's alright, isn't it? Something that someone told me in the week is that, do you know all these tall people like this guy?
Yeah.
Which is a bit weird they've only just found him, considering he's the tallest man. I think that's a bit weird.
Yeah.
Someone told me that, do you know the guy who was in James Bond, the big bloke?
Yes.
Jaws. He's got the same illness as this bloke.
Right.
And what it is...
It's called tall.
It's something about...
You're suffering from tall.
You've got a small tumour or something just behind this part of your head.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Just sort of in the middle of your eyes.
Yeah.
And the pressure on that makes you grow really tall or something.
Yeah.
So he needs to get it sorted.
That's your advice to him.
Yeah.
Get it sorted. Okay, very finally, Karl, this is important. This is just projecting into the future.
Get it sorted.
Just projecting into the future now, K-Man. Apparently, global warming will bring sizzling summers and weird wildlife to Great Britain in the future. Are you worried about that?
How soon?
Soon enough for you to worry.
Yeah, it's pretty worrying.
Okay.
You
You wouldn't prefer it to be sunny here all the time?
No, because with hot weather comes weird spiders and that. See, I always think we're quite lucky here.
Yeah.
If you live in Australia, you might have the sun and stuff, but you've got, like, deadly snakes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which are deaf. Did you know snakes are deaf?
Snakes are deaf.
They don't have ears.
Okay.
So you're alright walking about behind them.
Yeah. But if they see you ahead of you,
You know.
you're in trouble.
But yeah, with places like Australia, you know, people go, oh, it's great, it's sunny, but they don't talk about the spiders and
They keep the spiders.
lizards
Yeah.
and stuff.
Quite.
So I think we've got a bit of both the best worlds.
So you're worried though about in the future, vultures flying through the sky, we've got various creepy crawly snakes. You concerned about that?
Yeah, well, there's a load. I saw something in the news in the week that a load of sparrows or something was somewhere. Maybe that's the start of it.
That's an interesting story.
Was that front page or? There's a load of sparrows somewhere. Read all about it. Sparrows somewhere.
Some sparrows somewhere.
Sparrows somewhere.
Load of sparrows somewhere.
Sparrows somewhere.
There you go, anyway.
Excellent. That's
Thank you
great.
very much, Karl.
That's Karl giving his views on the news.
Don't do that next week.
Why not?
I just don't like it.
Why?
Pressure.
It's not pressure. You did brilliantly.
Yeah.
Lost Profits there on XFM 104.9. Oh, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
It rocks. I like the guitar. Atmosphere. It's good. But it's called The Fake Sound of Progress.
I know.
What?
See, what always annoys me is when people, they dismiss, you know, say Enrique Iglesias, current #1, great song.
Good video.
Brilliant video. And they say, oh, it's rubbish and all that. But I think that songs with titles like A Fake Sound of Progress,
Yeah.
much more something to get on your hobby horse about.
What has happened in that
Bad
video?
lyrics by good artists is always worse than I
If
think
you're
a recording
listening,
song.
or if you work for the record company, or you worked on that video, because he's got the money and the girl, and then Mickey Rourke beats him up, right, he has a fight, you just see him knock him over, and then it cuts, and the next scene, it's night, it's not in the desert, there's loads of, police cars, they're not doing anything.
They're just standing
And
around.
somehow he's...
Probably eating donuts.
He's dying of injuries, but I don't know what happened. They don't... What has happened in that video?
I think if you heard the 12-inch mix, there's a whole bunch of other sequences that explain what happened.
Yeah, I mean, we'll think that he stole the girl off Mickey Rourke.
I think he stole the girl off Mickey Rourke,
Yeah.
as well as some money.
Some money, yeah.
Mickey's tracked him down,
Yeah.
and he's thinking, I'm going to stop running, I'm going to face Mickey this time. He does, and then, boom, you're right, it cuts, and suddenly the police have shot him or
I
something.
don't know where
He's
they
gone.
are.
Don't know, but the police seem to be leaving him to die in the
See, I thought that they'd called the police because the sort of like the melee, but Mickey Rourke's off with his gang. The police are going, well, you know, where are they? There's no evidence. They go, well, look, he's dying. They're going, but how did he die?
Yeah.
How is he dying? He's a bit wet for the rain.
Knowing Rourke though, Rick, I imagine he's stitched Enrique up. I reckon he's framed him or something.
Or he's no sort of like ninja stuff, and there's lots of internal injuries that
Yeah.
aren't immediately
Anyone,
visible.
if you were involved with perhaps the making of that video, or indeed you are Enrique Iglesias, give us a ring.
If you're around,
Come on. Just fill us in.
I'd rather play some adverts now. Than
I'd love to play some adverts, Rick, but I'll tell you this, I'd also like to tell the listeners that coming very soon on XFM, some huge news about Karl
It is.
that will rock
It'll
the
be like
capital.
Pop Idol. It's going to be an ongoing saga. Going shot. Good track, good band. But I'll tell you what, in the second hour, I just want to play classics.
I'd love to hear a bloody
I want to
classic,
play
mate.
some Cure, New Order, Smiths.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? You know, we played Nirvana earlier, but it's not enough for me, Steve.
No, you need
I
your
want-
fix.
I want... I do. Well, it's that point in the show now. Song for the Lovers. one of my favourite singers, probably one of the most beautiful singer-songwriters of all time.
Well, you don't mean that, like, you don't mean that he's a good-looking bloke and you fancy him. I mean, I just want to clear that up, Rick, because otherwise...
That would, yeah.
What you mean is that the songs he writes are beautiful.
Yeah.
You can take or leave him as a bloke. Can't
Yeah,
imagine
of
his
course, yeah.
physicality.
And he's written such brilliant classics with his lovely arse as... Oh, why did I say that?
Why did you say that for, Rick? Because people will listen and misinterpret.
Oh, God. He wrote Galveston, he wrote Wichita Lineman, he wrote, he wrote MacArthur Park, and just to tickle him down below... What? I don't know what...
Are you saying
that? And this is a song, one of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard. It's off the album 10 Easy Pieces, which is just him doing the versions of other, that he gave to other people on piano. And this is called If These Old Walls Could Speak, and it is absolutely beautiful. Listen to this. If These Old Walls Could Speak by Jimmy Webb. Might play another track off that later if we've got time.
What, today?
Yeah, well, maybe, or maybe next week. We've got lots to pack in. We've got things like New Order, Cure... Oh,
I'm just hoping that all those kind of new metal fans, Rick, can just calm down for a second,
Yeah.
and just enjoy that for what it was.
Yeah.
But I hope their snobbery is not going to prevent them from enjoying it.
I hope they can just leave it alone for 2 hours for our show.
Exactly.
We try and, try and pack lots of
Well, whilst you're
stuff
talking about new metal, can I just say Ian Camfield is here tonight. He's moving from Fridays.
Right. What the hell does he think he's doing?
He's just offering up information now.
No, it's just that you were talking about the new metalers, and now seems like a good time to
Carl,
say...
listen. You're here for our amusement.
Yeah.
You don't sort of come in any time you want.
When we decide it's time to sort of have some fun at your expense, then we'll let you know, but otherwise...
We're not here to help other DJs or even this station. We don't give a about this.
See, this is what my girlfriend said.
What's that?
Well, you should listen to her.
She knows what she's talking about, clearly. Now put your microphone down.
She said they just wheel you out when they need you.
Switch your microphone off, Carl, and let us finish what we were saying.
Right, just...
What were we saying, Rick?
Ian Camfield has got a rock show.
Oh, right, yeah.
Starting today. It's 4 hours of pure rock. Yeah, he's probably here smoking, drinking Jack Daniels and just like having pictures of Vance put up around him to get in the mood. Then he'd go out and rock. Carl, don't be silly. Turn your microphone on. We're joking. Is that right? When's he on?
8 till 12 tonight. 4 hours of rock.
Lovely. Listen, some big classics coming up, plus huge news about Karl.
Please, let's play some more ads.
Do you really want some ads?
I'm tired of the music and chat. Please play some more ads, Carl. Please.
Karl.
Christ's sake. Cure on XFM 104.9. That's what it's all about, Steve.
Absolutely classics.
Yeah, we've got some more classics coming up.
Looking forward to them.
Now, when we were talking to Karl in the week, things we're talking to Karl is that you come up with something that's sort of like, quite innocent, and he goes, well, once, right? And you realise that it's comedy dynamite. He doesn't know it, but we want to go save it. And he let out, you were filling in a form, weren't you? It was all like your girlfriend thinking you're a div. And it's happened before, isn't it? Because she came home and you'd filled out a form to get a job once, hadn't you?
Yeah.
What was that for?
Granada Telly.
And on it...
Well, let Karl explain.
Yeah.
You see, this is what annoys me with job applications, because rather than just saying, do you want the job and what can you bring to this business?
Yeah. Do you want the job is a good one.
Because the thing is...
That's sort of the one for the boys.
No, listen, right?
Because if they say no, I don't think they want the job.
Yeah, but listen.
Go on.
I mean, I presume with what you do, you have to take people on and stuff.
Well, in a fight, you mean?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it's more important that you're willing to graft and put the hours in.
Sure.
Than say that, you did well at school.
Yes.
Sure.
Because if I wanted to, I could have done well at school.
Of course.
I just didn't want to.
Yeah. So where's this going? So you had the application form.
So when it came to the qualifications bit and that, I couldn't fill them in because I didn't have my qualifications. And it was also asking about your languages. And I put down English quite good.
English quite good.
And his girlfriend came over and seen the form that he'd sent off. This was a copy of it.
Yeah.
And so she went, oh, you know what I mean? So that's what started, the disappointment.
So they're going to get that and think that you're not English.
I don't think I've got it. It was ages ago.
Right.
How long ago was it?
Oh, well, it was when I was still in Manchester, so 5 years ago.
I don't think you've got to know. No, I think you'd...
There could be a long list.
I mean, there's probably a lot of admin problems in that organisation, but they probably...
But what I meant by it is that I can speak English, but I don't know all these long words that people use all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, can I just tell this quickly? In the week, I'm talking to you now, the listener. Usually I don't.
Yeah.
Karl said, about embarrassing him on air and that, and he's worried about his education, and he was worried about not knowing long words. Like, we come up with any long words. And he said, and I was scared, you were going to ask me something about, someone, and he's Eastern European leader. His surname is Milosevic. And Karl said, so I learnt it this week, and learnt it so you can't catch me out in case you start. I said, what? And he said, he thought about it, and he went, Flobodan Milosevic.
Got the surname right though, didn't he?
So what's his name?
Right?
What's his name?
That's how Bill and Ben would address this leader.
How would they have said it?
Flobodan Milosevic.
What's his name?
Slobodan
Yeah.
Milosevic.
Yeah.
Well done. Anyway, Karl, look, you almost let it slip then as you were talking about your filling out that application form. There's some big news that everyone needs to know, which we were stunned by in the week, although the more we sort of talk to you, the more it starts to fall into place.
Yeah.
But Karl, what's the story?
That I haven't got me exam results from the GCSEs.
He never turned up to get his exam
I
results.
was working.
And so, how many did you take in the end? Because you weren't even sure about that, were you? You think you took maths and English, don't you?
Yeah.
And
Art.
you think you've handed in the artwork for art, don't you?
Now, art was continual assessment, wasn't it? Coursework. And what was the that you made?
I made a man sort of putting his arms into a car.
You've made a model of a man putting his arms into a car.
What was this?
So
Sort of
that
like-
one's passed.
Was
We
that
can
this
take
this
aside.
a homage to break-ins in Manchester? Was this? What was this? Oh look, he does what he sees.
Yeah. So you've
what's
got that. That's safe. You've definitely got that one.
So you've taken art, you've taken English and maths, you think? So this is what we're going to do, listeners. We're going to try and find out his exam results for him and tell him next week.
Live on air.
We're going to call his school, we're going to try and track him down, and we are going to have a little envelope, and we are going to give Karl, at the age of 29, his O-level results. GCSEs, yeah.
Now, Karl, so you took maths.
Yeah.
You think you took English. Do you remember turning up to do those? Do you remember sitting in the room filling in the forms?
Yeah.
Okay. And how did you feel you did?
I don't think I did well.
You don't think you did well? Did you revise?
No.
Why didn't you revise?
Because I don't really believe in it.
Okay.
Well, it's just that if you don't know it, then you don't know it. You shouldn't have to start looking at the book. If I went to like the hospital,
Yeah.
and the doctor said, "Oh, you need your appendix out," but hang on a minute, I've just got to read up on it.
Yeah.
That isn't good enough.
Okay.
He should know, and that's the way I feel about it.
To be fair, though,
He did do the revision beforehand.
yeah, they don't usually pass on, maybe when they're in practice.
Yeah,
7 years
information they
down the
took in
line.
by osmosis.
Yeah, yeah, and bloke comes in and goes, "Can I just see what you did with that?" And I goes, "You've passed."
Yeah.
Phew. That's a good one. Yeah.
Good job I watched Casualty.
I just like the way, the things that interest me, I remember. Things
Okay.
like snakes not having ears and stuff.
Yes.
I didn't have to read about that.
No, you just learnt that, yeah.
You saw it on the telly, didn't you? You saw it on that Ian Wright programme.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is what Karl said to me. He said, it's actually, I called Karl up in the week, and Reese was with him. Reese used to be on XFM, and he took the phone, and he went, "Karl's worried, I've seen that programme." He said, "Snakes don't have ears, right?" He said, "So you can creep up on them and pick them up." And he said, "Karl's worried." He said, "How do you ever put them down again?" Because then they know you're there.
I woke up the other night quite late,
Worried about that.
and I said to my girlfriend, I said, "How do you put a snake down?" And she said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "That Ian Wright thing, this guy managed to pick up a snake. And do you know that thing where they clamp its head on a jar to get the poison out?"
I do now.
Right? They did that, but they didn't show you how they got rid of it, and I thought, it could really get nasty, because it's obviously annoyed that you've had its head pressed in the jar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
They hate that.
Now,
Especially as it's in front of their mates.
when you lift it off,
Yeah.
right, you've got hold of it.
Yeah.
If you go to chuck it down, it's going to turn on you.
It's going to go wild, isn't it?
So, I just wondered.
Well, what you do is you never put it down, Karl.
Yeah, that's why
That's what
that
happens.
bloke has got about 11 or 12 just carrying him.
Exactly.
Yeah, you never put it down. You sling it. Who cares?
You just throw it, don't you, really far.
That's not that. I don't think you should throw.
But
snakes.
Karl, listen, don't worry. We're not asking you to get involved with snakes. We're just asking you now. You've done maths, you think?
Yeah.
Did no revision for that.
No.
Okay. English. Do you remember what it was? Did they ask you about Shakespeare? Did they ask you
I can't
about books?
remember, but I must have done it because I thought that was...
It was English language, not English literature, wasn't it? So it was
Was it
like
spelling and all that
So
sort
was it? No, was it like a comprehension? You read a passage and had to ask questions on it. Was it? Did you have to
I might
write a
not have
short
done
essay?
English. I don't know. I can't remember any of that.
Okay.
I did a science.
Okay, physics or chemistry?
Physics.
All right, well done. And this is all you think?
You actually took that. You actually took physics GCSE. You think?
You're obliged to do a language, I think. Did you do French?
I did French for a bit,
I
but
don't think you are. I don't think you have to do a
I
language.
think you have at GCSE. I think you've got to.
Well, English quite good. I think that's his language he did.
I can't.
So you don't know about
I can't
language, history,
remember.
geography.
Just what you will find out, won't we?
Okay, but you just can't remember. I can't believe you can't remember turning up for these things, because it's quite a big moment in people's lives. It is the thing that you've been working to all of your educational life.
On the day that the things came out, I was working at as a printer,
Okay.
and it was a really busy
A lot
day.
of spelling mistakes. That
It was
day,
a really
that
busy
paper,
day,
wasn't
so
it?
you're bound to forget.
Yeah,
your
yeah.
exams.
No, but I had to use gold ink that day.
Oh.
And it's,
Yeah,
I mean, you're
yeah,
not a
yeah,
printer,
yeah.
so you don't know.
No, that's the biggie, innit?
But it's tough. You've got to really get your rollers clean.
Karl, play a record, mate, and good luck with the exam results. Hopefully we'll have them for you by next week.
PJ Harvey on XFM 104.9, the home of the classics.
Absolutely.
Classics.
Classics.
Oggy.
Oi, oi, oi.
Well, we were talking earlier about this, as this book, They Died Young, right? And there's all these theories about these people, like famous people that, aren't really dead. And I remember speaking to someone about this, okay? And they said to me, Bruce Lee is not dead, right? They said he's not dead, right? And I said, well, how do you know? He's going, no, it was a whole big thing by the Hong Kong government, and he's actually working as an undercover cop in Hong Kong.
I've heard
using his kung fu powers. Now,
No, apparently he faked his own death, Karl,
Yeah.
so that he could work undercover for the Hong Kong
Yeah.
police, infiltrating gangs, the triads, that sort of thing.
Now, my point is this. If you're going to use someone undercover in Hong Kong, right, you know, an undercover cop, I suggest using the most famous Chinaman of all time. That would
that's
be...
a guarantee.
Yeah. So, you know, when he's taking away a gang, they're going, you look a bit like Bruce Lee. He's going, no, I don't know. See this moustache?
Looks a bit wonky.
Well, just take my word for it. I'm not Bruce Lee, all right? Well, all that stuff you did when you punching us and kicking us and yes, but I'm not.
It does look a bit like the stuff in my film, in his films.
In his films, yeah.
But it's not.
It does
it's just
not.
coincidence.
No, yeah.
The thing is, though, I'm not sounding bad here, not trying to offend anyone, but they do all look the
Right.
same.
They do all look.
No.
No,
It's-
I've gone no. You know, we're having a serious chat.
Right.
I'm not here to upset anyone.
Right.
And what I'm saying is, over here,
I'm so sorry.
no, I'm not. Yeah, but you know me. I'm not out to upset
Right.
anyone.
Right.
You're not a racialist.
No.
What
So-
do you mean? Are you saying Orient
I'm
people
saying is-
all look alike?
Well,
Is-
look at the people over here, right?
Yeah.
With like you've got ginger
this-
people. You've got people with black hair. You've got people who are fat, people who are thin, but they're all so sort of fit, which isn't a bad thing. They all do that sort of thing in the park. They're all fit. It's a place where black hair. I mean, when they come here, they take pictures of people with ginger hair, don't they? Because they don't get them over there. That's what I'm saying. So calm down. Jeez.
So you're saying that Bruce Lee, the most famous Chinese movie star of all
They
time,
can't tell him apart.
other triad members would. How are they? I mean, how are they going about the business at all? I mean,
Yeah.
what I'm saying is, how would
tell
they
it-
even realise that was the guy?
What do they have to do? Wear numbers in, you know, because there's a billion
No, but
of them.
when you know them, then you know.
So what? Oh, I see. They can tell each other apart, can they? Well, they got signals. This is amazing,
That's
isn't
how
it?
you got away with it.
Simon, which one are you? Just raise your hand, Simon. Yep. Chang, which one's Chang? Chang, good. Yeah.
Oh, it must be murder, mustn't it? Just
That can be the only.
people going into the wrong houses all the time, getting off with their mates' wives.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A nightmare.
It must be a nightmare.
Carl,
Please don't complain. He doesn't know what he's doing. So I'm really sorry to anyone that's... he honestly does not know what he's saying. XFM 104.9.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is,
Go on.
I don't think I am offending anyone.
Okay. Fine, that's alright then.
And you know that I wouldn't want to do that.
No, I know you don't.
Before
I know.
I swore
Oh, I
on the
know.
Radio, I said, right, if you got kids in the car, turn your radio down.
so before you make any potentially racist remarks, just point out if you are listening and you might be Oriental. Please don't take offence.
Or go... Oh.
You know what I mean. So
Yeah.
go on then. So what was this other dead person? Who's not?
Carl, play a record. Ricky's having a heart attack. We'll come back.
The music of tomorrow is here.
XFM.
Well, the music of tomorrow is here.
That's true enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Must have been some sort of muck-up with the post.
Rick, a lot of the times when I've played Hip Hop Hooray, my hip hop track of the week, you've sort of scoffed, you've thought that maybe I don't have credibility amongst the hip hop fraternity.
No, it's just the way you dance.
Well,
it's merely the way you dance that worries me, because people can't see it really, and it's sort of like, imagine if Mr. Bean thought he was in D12. You know what I mean? It's that sort of. And I don't diss you. I mean, I know you're a hip hop appreciator. You know,
I wouldn't expect you to diss me. I'm a black queen. But the point is that I just there's a little something that Karl's got on tape for you that I think might change your opinion of my whole hip hop credibility.
Oh no!
Now I've told you in the past.
Not videotape, is it?
Not at all. Not at all. Actually, Karl, just play it. Just play it.
Yo, 1 2 1 2. We are the Dilated Peoples, chilling on Hip Hop Parade.
That's right.
With Steve Merchant, y'all. XFM 104.9. LA to London, Dilated People expanding them
all day.
Now.
Who got that?
How about
that? Come.
No, it was just when I was hanging out with my homies.
No, did they come in the week?
They were in the week, I think, and somebody got them to do it for them.
No, that was when I was just hanging in the crib with them. No.
That's very nice.
And the guys just laid down some beats for me.
Yeah.
You know, just laid down some vocals, and I gave them max respect for it. You know, the place was mad deep with girls at the time.
I assume you're going to play Dilated Peoples this week then?
Well, maybe.
Yeah.
Let's play it, Karl.
That's very good.
Y'all, XFM 104.9. LA to London, Dilated People expanding them.
Respect, guys. Cheers very much. Out of here. Yeah, guys, just maxing there. Lovely. Good to hear from them. Good to hear from the boys. I'll probably be heading over to LA, NYPD, and just you know, chilling with them.
I'd love them to meet you.
You're having a laugh.
I'd love them to meet you.
We would hang out. I know all the jive.
It's like a thing they do on MTV or actually like Being Dilated Peoples, and they come in, they make us three look like a rap group. Wouldn't that be great?
Listen, I told you before, I've always remembered the words of Snoop Doggy Dogg.
Yeah.
Bitch is a bitch and a hoe's a hoe, but if a man be acting like a bitch, he's a bitch-ass homie.
Yeah,
right?
sure.
Those are the words from the street.
I would. It'd be like you two had won a competition or something. Do you know what I mean? Like that.
I just don't think you can believe it that I'd just be hanging out, you know,
sort of like
in the crib.
People of courage, and you get a chance to meet your favourite. It'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
Listen, we were talking earlier about the fact that Bruce Lee, and it's a well-known fact, he faked his own death so he could continue his undercover police work, as opposed to being
because no one would, he doesn't look different to anyone else.
I was talking to someone as well recently who utterly convinced, and you get this quite a lot, don't you, especially Americans, that Elvis Presley's still alive.
Yeah.
And I think, wasn't there some statistic, like more people believed Elvis was alive than believed evolution? Was that right?
Yes.
Something like that?
No. No, it's something worse than that. It could be something.
It was something like that. It's something like, I don't know, it's something like 42% of Americans believe that Elvis Presley has faked his own death and is still alive, right?
Yeah.
And there's this whole book that's been written about it, because, Karl, you might be interested in this. I know you're always fascinated by things that have been written down and therefore a gospel.
Yeah.
And that
you don't have to revise yourself. You just learn off Ian Wright. Yeah.
But apparently, the reason that Elvis is still alive, is that there's a number of sort of pieces of evidence. One is that none of his family could agree which colour pyjamas he was wearing when he died. That's evidence, apparently. Apparently, you know, he was an honorary member of the FBI. Well, apparently his signature appears on FBI documents well into the 80s, long after he should have died. Apparently no one can agree. There was sums of money
a lot of fat people in dungarees have seen him.
Yeah. There's a number of sums of money which apparently only he could have given authority to have transferred to other bank accounts they've moved. Yeah. So this is all evidence that Elvis is still alive. And a lot of people, I was talking to this guy and he was saying, well, of course, the thing is, the pressures of fame were too much for him. That he faked his own death so that he no longer had to be this huge icon. You know, he could live an ordinary life. And my query has always been this: if Elvis faked his own death, do you think the method he'd have chosen is to have shat himself to death whilst on the toilet?
Yeah.
Yeah, but because he picked that, nobody will doubt it.
Right. So Elvis went to the FBI.
Yeah.
What do you make of it?
Well, exactly. So what we're saying, Karl, is that there was lots of methods open to him. You know what I mean? It's all like, he didn't go to his secret police and go, "Oh, I'm fed up. I want to fake my own death." You know what I mean? And they go, "Yeah,
yeah." And what methods have you got?
I like to be found shit myself down the toilet.
You like to do what?
I want to be a big fat motherfucker on the toilet, just shitting myself to death.
Right,
on my ankles.
Elvis is a good idea. I'm just wondering if there's maybe something a little bit more glamorous for your favourite death. I mean, you could take a bullet for the president.
What? Shit all over him? Just shit?
No, we know crap at all. No, you just take a bullet for him, or you could.
There has to be shit involved.
Why has it got to be?
There has to be shit involved.
Why has it got to be crap?
I want it this way. Make it happen. Yeah, he's probably Karl, head in hand, look. Yeah. He's worried about the things we say.
Yeah.
Jeez.
We haven't offended 1.2 billion people.
Yeah, a fifth of the planet.
So, Karl, what do you make of it then? Are you convinced Elvis is still alive?
Am I getting him mixed up with someone else?
Because all Elvises look alike.
Because...
that is true. A lot of Elvises do look alike. That's safe.
On his gravestone, didn't they get his name wrong? Or is that his brother?
Who's his brother?
Aaron.
That's his middle name.
Yeah.
You're not an Elvis kind of expert, are you?
Hold on, wasn't Elvis one of a twin that died?
That died, and I'm sure they got his name wrong on a grave or something. Oh, I don't know.
But that's consequently that's proof he's still alive.
No, I've had the thing with the still alive thing. Like I say, he picked that awkward death because nobody would be saying, hang on a minute, going round upsetting the family, wanting to talk about it because they'd be embarrassed to be saying, he was found sort of in a pile of mess. Weighing
25 stone.
Yeah. So...
Because you notice he also expanded to a huge size as well, so he was just a huge fat blob of a man. He also did that to add, extra...
To the glamour.
I don't quite understand these people who fake the deaths, because...
Well, a lot of them don't. A lot of them don't, Karl. This is what, in a roundabout way, we're saying. We're saying that a lot of people that say people fake that they didn't, like Bruce Lee and James Dean and Elvis Presley, we're saying they didn't fake their deaths.
He did die, didn't he? His head come off, didn't it?
Very good.
Who's this?
James Dean?
His head came off.
There is a light that never goes out. The Smiths, XFM 104.9. Nearly through.
Absolutely.
2 hours of chat, great music.
Bloody good music.
Karl.
Of course.
Speaking before he thinks. By the way, when he was talking about Mowgli, he was going to talk about Mowgli and you said, oh, what are the gremlins called?
Yeah.
Were you thinking of, Mogwai.
Yeah, but they were still,
fair,
they were
called gremlins. Yeah. I know what you're thinking. I know, to be fair.
But my girlfriend won't be listening now, so she'll still think I'm a bit daft.
Why would she ever think that? How long have you been going out with her?
About 8 years.
Well then, why would she ever think you're daft? That's the only stupid thing you've ever said, the Mogwai thing. Why would she ever think she's going out with a, to be honest, a retard?
I think it's a very beautiful relationship you must have, Because it's odd, she's a professional journalist or whatever.
Yeah.
And she works for, is it, Radio 5 or something?
BBC Sport.
BBC Sport.
TV.
So your man who never even got
her English quite good. Is English quite good? Her?
Really good.
Yeah?
So...
And did she do her exams?
Yeah. She's quite bright.
Sure. So what do you bring to the relationship?
I think take the pressure off her.
Take the pressure off her to do what?
When she's had a stressful day and she comes home and talks to me, I think...
Yeah.
You would relax me, and that's the truth. I honestly, if Karl, he can just go, wow, it's alright. Do you know what I mean? He don't get stressed. He sits in his little booth now, he doesn't talk to anyone, his little sound booth all the week. And you're in your own little world, aren't you?
Well, it's interesting because I wonder sometimes what your aspirations are. I was thinking this, I was watching a repeat of Family Fortunes on Challenge TV last night. And it was sort of mid-80s one, and I don't know if it's still the case, but it was the aspirations of the contestants. Were so kind of, it was like, and what's your hobby? Well, like to go out when it's nice weather and stay in when it's not.
If you win £2,000, you'd probably be going out when it's nice, couldn't you? Yeah.
And she was like, well, and I sometimes like to watch TV. And I was thinking, wow, man, you've really got some incredible dreams. It's just like that, you're just waiting to die, aren't you? That's
what I feel sorry for, right? Two things. In Stars in Their Eyes, and you get a little fella, and he's gutting fish in some sort of factory in Bolton, and he comes on, and he does, something like Bobby Darin, okay, and Matthew Kelly comes out after and goes, well, I don't think you'll be going back to the fish factory. You will.
You will be going back.
You will.
Straight back, mate.
Yeah.
Let's think of all the Stars in Their Eyes stars.
Don't wind him up, Kelly, because that's a nasty thing to do.
I'm trying to think of all the Stars in Their Eyes contestants that have gone on to great things.
What happened to that little fella that looked like the little Alsatian puppy that did Krista Burr? He looks a bit like Krista Burr. He looked like he had problems.
Well, now what was it? Is Ian Moore his name was?
Now, He was.
Well, it's interesting. My friend bought me as an ironic gift for my birthday. He bought me the live video of Ian Moore. You'll be pleased to know that Lady in Red was on there among a number of other hits. But it was brilliant. It had a picture of Ian on the front. It said Ian Moore, naturally.
I didn't know it was too big for him as well.
Of course. It was ludicrous, but I don't know if that meant Ian Moore, naturally, like we all know who this guy is, it's Ian Moore.
Yeah.
Or was it Ian Moore, he's no longer being Christa Burr, he's just natural.
What did he sound like when he wasn't being Christa Burr?
Christa Burr.
Did he really? Because he met him, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, I think Christa Burr couldn't wait to get back on the telly.
Well, the thing is, I think Ian Moore is actually earning more than Christa Burr now. I think
they could have got Christa Burr on there.
Yeah, you can get Christa Burr for £1,000, but Ian Moore's going up for £1,200 now, just a PA to adapt. But he does Lady, he does all the hits. He does Don't Pay the Ferryman.
Yeah.
Don't even set a price. Does all those.
Interestingly, I saw him interviewed once, and Lady in Red's not his favourite song.
You're joking.
It's bizarre, isn't it?
But he was only going to play that if it was the fat ginger Sarah Ferguson.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It was only if she was wearing some red.
He was only going to play that when?
It was a live thing, and he was only going to play that if she was wearing red or something.
Right.
Didn't her freckles count?
That's beautiful.
No, so luckily she had a red. That must have clashed with her a bit.
Yeah.
A red scarf on her face.
And the highlights in your hair that catch the light.
Yeah.
Such a beautiful lyric.
Never seen you looking so lovely as did. The thing is, right, he misses a rhyme there. He goes, when I ask you to, dance, looking for a little romance. Now he could have said dance, couldn't he?
I met a man once in a bar. I was talking to him for some reason. I was annoyed by him. I was wound up by him. And I said that I'd written Lady in Red, and I never got any money for it, because I found out he was like a music lawyer. And he went, well, give me a call, I'll investigate that. And he was actually going to do it for me. I love the idea of that. Just
Why did you say that?
really bored, and I didn't like him much, and I thought that was,
Why did you choose Lady in Red, though?
Because I think I was singing it with a friend of mine, and he came over and went, oh, good voice. And I went, yeah, I wrote this.
What pub is this?
It was North.
Is it?
Yeah. Never seen looking so lovely as you did tonight. So, anyway, that's enough of my Christa Burr anecdotes.
Yeah.
That's very much the end of the show.
And it is. It's been a great show.
Hang on, have I got time for a song for the lovers, or have I missed that?
No.
If you give it me
Of course you
now.
have. Yeah, what are you going to play? What are you going to play?
What, are you going to play a song now and then we've got time for it afterwards?
No, you'll have to give it me.
Yeah.
now,
Oh, I better dig it out. Well, can you keep people
what
entertained?
have you chosen? I'll keep it going.
Well, a friend of mine who keeps making me little compilations has stuck on an old Tom Waits track, which is from his first album, one that I've not listened to for a while.
Brilliant.
Re-listen to it, it's an absolute dynamite.
Brilliant.
Can anyone hear me?
Yeah.
Just wandering around.
Yeah. He's just getting out of his bag now, because we weren't prepared for this. We sort of ran out of time. We're having such a great time with the philosophy of Karl.
What do you fancy doing anyway with your future?
Me?
You know, I'm just going to tell you now, you know we're still on air, don't you? Before it gets too casual, you know we are still broadcasting to the capital. Okay. Yeah, what do you fancy doing with your future, Steve?
Well, once I've made all that money from suing Christa Burr, my future, I'm living my future, man. I wanted to have some good mates like yourself and Ricky.
Yeah.
You know, Karl, I wanted to be on the radio, I wanted to play great songs.
We're like the Three Musketeers, me, you, and Steve. We're like the original Rat Pack. We're like Ocean's 11. I'm Sinatra.
Yeah.
You're Sammy Davis Jr. and you're, what's his name, Dean Martin, aren't you?
Yeah, or Joey Lawrence. What's his name? Joey Lawrence, not Joey Lawrence, Joey Bishop.
Joey Deacon.
Joey Deacon.
My dad said the ending on the old one's better than the new one.
We should definitely get your dad in, man. That would be just dynamite. When people get tired of you, we've got the whole Pilkington family to choose
The
from.
whole gene pool.
Have you seen it?
No. Karl, have we got time for this now, really, mate?
What track?
To be fair. Okay, it's track number 1. Now, interesting thing
This
about
is
Tom
shoddy.
Waits is that, this is from his first album, and he doesn't sound like that kind of gruff, lived-in guy that he wants to
He
be.
didn't
actually sounds
smoke.
something of a crooner.
Yeah.
But this is a track called Old 55, which bizarrely, I think, might have been covered by the Eagles. But anyway, I think it's a really lovely track, really beautiful track.
I'll see you next week.
And we'll see you next time.
Say goodbye, Karl.
So yeah.
Say sorry
For what?
for if you offended anyone.
I didn't. So if I say sorry, that's saying I'm guilty.
07 distractions, very nice. Yes, I approve of that, Karl. Good choice there. Now, Steve.
Yes.
Karl came round to my flat. It was Tuesday night, wasn't it?
Nice place.
Now, thanks. Now, last week after the show, I think you guys were in the time you were in the toilet. Right, Karl got out the lottery ticket that he'd bought. He went, I'm feeling really confident tonight.
Right.
I laughed. He went, no, seriously. He said, look at the numbers. And I looked at them, and I think they were 4, 6, 8, 20, 36, 48, weren't they? He was going, I just got a feeling about those, I went, sure. He went, although, my girlfriend said that, you know, if I won the lottery, we'd probably split up because we like such different things, meaning she likes to travel and he doesn't. And so he said, so what I said was, well, if I win, then I won't tell you. I'll just treat you a little bit more. Brilliant.
That's brilliant logic.
That is great. Anyway.
I'll look after her.
Oh, I imagine you take care of her, yeah. Yeah, you're a good guy. How would you do it then? You just sneak little gifts in slowly over many years.
Yeah.
You don't think she'd rumble the fact that you, like, don't work anymore and drive a Lamborghini?
Well, I'd still do this, I think.
What, just like as a kind of beard, as a cover story?
Yeah, just...
So you'd pretend to come to work, but maybe off partying and stuff in the daytime?
Yeah.
Clever.
Now, he didn't win.
Okay.
I phoned him up Saturday night, he went, one number. One number. I think it was 8, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, there was a lot of 8s on my piece of paper, wasn't there? So I think it was either an 8 or an 18 or a 48.
And he went, and he was disappointed. He said, waste of time. I went, well, he said, no, waste of time. He said, I've worked it out. I went, go on. He went, there are 26 letters in the alphabet. I went, yeah. He went, think how many words you can make out of them. He went, there are 48 numbers on the lottery. I went, yeah, 60 million to 1. He went, yeah. Not worth it.
I looked into that in the week, right? And there's even less letters in the Welsh alphabet. They've only got 20. And yet they've got loads of words as well. So even 20, the chances, if there was 20 numbers and you had to pick 6 winners, it'd still be really...
unlikely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You should be a mathematician. And anyway, so we got talking about it. We got talking, that was me, him and Jane around there. And I told Jane that he said about, oh, if you won the lottery, no, he didn't like travel. And she went, why do you like travelling? And he went, well, I don't like planes. I'm really scared of planes and that. And she went, well, if you won the lottery, you could have a world cruise. And he went, no. She went, don't fancy it? I went, no. He said, if you go on a world cruise, what do you do next year?
Oh,
Genius.
it's brilliant logic, Karl.
It's
But you know on the world cruise you don't actually see the whole world. I mean, you...
And if you did, it's not like saying, well, I don't want to see that twice. Do you know what I mean?
the world.
It is the world. It's a lot. It's a lot to see. And
Did it never dawn on you before about the numbers in the lottery? Have you been playing this for years and thinking that you had a good chance, that it was just like you and a handful of other people that were doing it?
Just as much chance as everyone else, but then when you actually sit down and think about what you're doing...
He's done it again this week. He went, I'm doing it one more time, and he showed me the numbers, and he went, they look a bit more healthy, don't they?
What numbers are you going for this week?
It's alright laughing, but we'll see tonight.
Yeah.
Go on then.
So look.
You know, if people do this and they win, if you take these out and people do these, you'll have to share it with someone. It's alright though, isn't it? Give them a chance. Tell them give people a clue. What numbers are you doing, Karl?
No, I'm not going to tell them all. I'll give you 4. I've got 5, 9, 12 and 26.
Okay.
You're not going to give us the other 2?
No. Because that's a big difference, isn't it?
What are the...
4's worth about 8 grand in it, but if I give them the other 2 and it wins...
Yeah. What are those 4 numbers again?
5, 9, 12, 26.
Also, coming up is Karl's GCSE results. He took them in 1988, I think.
Was it?
And we've phoned his score, we tracked him down. We've got Karl's GCSE, what did I say?
Jeez.
How many did you get, Rick?
Clinic, walking with these. Sorry about that earlier. You know, I like to keep a tight, slick ship, and that lets us all down, doesn't it? When something goes wrong with the shoddy equipment in this place. Why don't you buy some new stuff? You must be earning a bit of money now, wasn't you? We got a few listeners now, we get adverts, don't we? Why don't they just buy a new CD player? You can go down to Richer Sounds and get one for 50 quid.
Yeah. I don't know. Because I suppose when you're starting off, you save the money you make first before you spend it.
Go down to Record and Tape Exchange, take all the 4 non-blondes and excess stuff you've got.
Out of the record library.
You'll be able to get an old CD player.
25 minutes this week it took.
The 4 non-blondes obligatory mention.
I think we should make that some sort of call-in to win feature.
Karl, are we using the equipment that you used to use when you had Pilkey's Making Music, the DJ outfit that
I
you
love
made
that. That was Karl Pilkington and someone making...
Colin Making.
Colin Making. Pilkey's Making Music.
Genius. Are we using that same equipment?
Did you earn any money?
I paid for the tube lights and that. I sort of covered my costs.
Did you? Did you pay tax on that?
And then, no. Well, that's what they get Al Capone on, isn't it?
It is, yeah. That's right. Don't worry about the music policy. We're sorting that out. We've got some Verve coming up. We got some Jimmy Webb. We got some Nick Cave. We got some Amy Mann. We got some Travis Corner Shop. You know what I mean? We're sorting
some big
ourselves
names
out.
there.
We haven't started yet. We're just starting, getting going. We got Karl's GCSE result.
Let's just do it now.
Should we do it now?
Well, I think we should have a White Van Man session.
Oh, White Van Man.
I think people tune in for the White Van Man
Yeah,
session.
people who haven't tuned in, they don't know.
If people aren't familiar with this, The Sun runs a column every day which is asking some punter from the street their views on the week's big events, and we just thought, why not hijack that idea, but apply it to Karl Pilkington. Karl,
I've seen much news again this week.
you've not seen much news. Don't worry, I'm sure you have an opinion on it anyway.
Just give us it from your heart.
So Gladiator.
Okay, so, well, on the subject of Gladiator, what do you make of Russell Crowe's appalling behaviour at the BAFTAs?
This is, I heard a bit about this. This is, when he got some director or something, because...
Director or producer and threatened them, because they cut his bit, didn't they?
They cut a poem that he'd done during the acceptance speech.
I watched it on Sunday night. Sure. I didn't realise it wasn't live, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I quite liked the way it was to the point and didn't mess about. He went up, he said thanks.
So you're saying that he shouldn't have beaten up the director? Is that what you're basically saying?
It's a bit over the top.
You thought
I mean, if you didn't have time, if you really, I mean, what's the poem got to do with the film anyway? He was an awards.
So do you think it's ever justified to beat up a TV director if you're a major Hollywood star?
Depends what he's done, but I mean...
Right, what would he have to have done, Karl, for it to be fine for him to then beat him up?
The thing is, right, forget all the beating up. At the end of the day, it was a awards thing for a film. The poem had nothing to do with the film.
Yeah.
So go up, collect your award for that thing. And if he really, really wanted people to hear about this poem, he could have photocopied it and left it at the entrance and said, on your way out, this is a really nice poem, pick one up.
No, but the thing is, he knew it was televised, so he knew by saying that poem once, he was reaching 5 billion people. That's a lot of photocopies. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm not saying he was justified.
It wasn't a poem award. If it was an award show for poems, you'd say you can't cut it out. It'd be like doing the top 40 and then going, number one's good, but we haven't got time for it. But it's a films thing.
Okay.
And he went up and he got the award for the film. Which film was it for?
I don't know, but when I wanted to give you results, I said, let's give Karl his results. Steve went, no, we should introduce people to Karl again, just remind people what Karl's like. And he's so right. I'm so glad we did this first.
Am I right, though?
Carry on, Steve.
Okay, the next topic, what about this big debate over whether Kylie Minogue's had a bum job?
I'd have to see it.
Next.
Okay. What do you make of Will Young's single? He's the Pop Idol winner. It's going to net record-breaking sales, apparently. It's going to go straight to #1. He's had millions of copies sold.
I heard last week that you had to, if you wanted to buy it from Woolworths, you had to go in and put £1 down to guarantee getting a copy.
Wow.
I think that's stupid.
But what do you make of it, though? Do you think...
as a song?
Both as a song, and are you excited about Will Young and his future?
No, he'll do all right. I don't think we have to worry about him.
Okay.
He'll do all right. It's not my thing, but he seems like a nice bloke.
Okay, very good. What do you make?
One?
Yeah, one final one then. What do you make of our scientists getting the go-ahead to clone embryos for research? We have discussed cloning before, and obviously there's the pros and cons of that. Christopher Reeve, former Superman star, he's behind this. Are you behind him?
Yeah. I mean, with everything, you have your good and your bad, don't you?
Yeah.
At the end of the day. If you didn't have bad things in the world, then you wouldn't enjoy the good things. I think, it's like if you didn't have robbers in the world, policemen wouldn't have a job. So it's the same thing. It's like, it's an illness. Yeah? What are they messing with?
It's probably a bit too detailed to go into there, really, but...
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's good and bad. You can't have it all.
Yin and yang is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, Karl, I can't argue with that, mate.
I want to play a track now that I haven't heard for a while. It's the Verve, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sonnet. Lovely song.
Coming soon, those big exam results.
Black Rebel Motorcycle Club, spread your love. It's time to give Karl... You're actually nervous, aren't you? I'm a little bit nervous. Just to recap, Karl is 30 this year. He never went to get his results of his GCSEs. So myself and Steve took it upon ourselves to phone his school, track them down, and we actually got your results. What did you think you took?
Did English.
Right.
Maths.
Yeah.
Art.
Right.
And I think I did physics.
Okay. Well, you didn't do any of them.
Eh?
You didn't do any of them. You didn't register. You registered for one exam and took one exam and got results for one exam. So I don't know what you thought you were turning up to, or you weren't registered, or you didn't.
You're familiar with the notion of registering for an exam. You have to kind of officially register in order to be eligible.
What do you mean, register? I turned up for a couple.
Yeah, you can't just show up. You have to register for them.
You have to pay this because it costs the school money, so they have had to have paid for you if they thought you were going to pass. You can't just turn up on the day and ask for some paper at the front.
I never got a letter telling me that.
Well, that's because you were never at school.
But you did somehow register or registered for one exam. You registered for history.
It's a topic that you've always been interested in.
Oh, I was saying to Ricky before, World War II, I loved it.
Not the actual event.
No,
the
but
study
just
of it.
all
You
the
mean?
stuff like, about the Anderson shelters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the bombs and that. And then when I took it, it had nothing to do with that. It was more about the Tudors.
So it didn't. The Second World War didn't come up. You mean there were no questions about the Anderson shelters?
Nothing.
That's devastating.
So
So what are you expecting the result to be?
is that seriously? Is that it?
Yeah, it's the only one you took and registered.
As far as the school is concerned, or
yeah.
certainly in
Well, it's the
terms
only
of
one
what
that
they told
counts.
us.
It's the only result. It's the only one that counts. Yeah, you've got.
I don't. Did you register for yours?
Yeah.
Yes.
I've got certificates and everything.
So what? Do you do that before the exam? Do you have to go somewhere and sign something, or?
Yeah, you don't check your results and then decide if you want to register. It's not like Millionaire when you look at the question and go, I think I'll take the money.
Yeah.
You go.
No.
But anyway, you must have registered for one, or maybe your teacher put it in. Put you in for
Well,
it.
I didn't do it.
They must have been
Someone else
confident. They
registered
must
for
have been confident. They must have thought your best bet was history.
me. Right. So, what did they get?
You got an E, which I think, technically, is a pass.
E.
It's a bad pass, but there's F,
How
and there's
much
You're not going to be doing a PhD.
you can get an F, right, which is fail, and then a U, which is ungraded. Now, I don't know why the U exists, because F means you failed. U is like them going, you not only failed, but you wasted my time.
So,
We're annoyed
Yeah,
that you took this exam.
so you thought they'd register me to get an E?
well, they didn't.
Well, they
think
didn't.
you'd
I
get
think
any.
they were hoping. It was rather like you with the lottery. They were hoping
see-
for something better than
You
nothing.
see, I assumed that the man who registered for that thought he can scrape an E if Anderson shouters come up.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. You've got. Now, what I'd like to do, Karl, is I've started your re-education. You've read a book on Rasputin. I'll be asking you a few questions about that later. I've got another book for you to read next week. Next week, I've got a
I'm
little.
not in the mood.
What?
Not in the mood.
Oh, come on. Look. What's that? What does that say?
It's that fella. It's the picture of the bloke that he used to use for Citizen Smith.
Yeah? Che Guevara.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was quite happy, I think, when he found out that Robert Lindsay was involved. He went, yeah, of course you can. No worries. No worries, yeah.
What
So-
are your feelings, Carl? What
do you think? Are you
emotions
depressed?
I'm just a bit annoyed because I'm sure I turned up for more, so it just wasted me time.
Listen, they don't matter.
I'm sure I
you're
did
doing
more
you're
than
doing
one.
very well. You know you can educate yourself. GCSEs are merely a step on the ladder to help you, not just for education, but they're more vocational than anything else. You're doing very well, and you're reading books. Don't worry about it. But
It's
can I
not a
suggest
concern.
something? But if you want, I'll pay for you to take history again.
Carl, we'd love to see you get a C or above. And
Well,
we're
I'll
willing
pay
to...
for you, and I'll get you some books. Right now, listen. We can let's get. I reckon. When are the exams? June.
Something like that, yeah.
We'll try and register next week, and I reckon you can get an A or B
I'm
history.
Busy, I'm
in
busy.
history. No, don't worry about it. It's just easy. I get you Brody's notes. If Heat magazine, they love you, Karl. They could probably sort something out. They could probably pay for a tutor. They got a lot of money. They sell a lot of magazines.
I mean, it is almost always, and you found that out, I discovered this, it's always the Tudors and Stuarts. There's no fear for them not coming up. Now, what do you already know about them? You must already know stuff about Henry VIII and Elizabeth.
No, because it's too long ago to even get interested in. Do you know what I mean? You can't.
Is that why you
relate
didn't-
To it.
Okay.
The Anderson thing, it was like, God, I bet my mum and dad were in an Anderson shelter. You know, this is interesting.
What, when they...
Oh, my granddad would have, like, had something to do with this. But the Tudors, it's like, I don't know even if they had a family back then.
Play a record. We come back
Hang
to
on,
this.
hang
Sorry,
on, hang on.
Steve,
Because I need to introduce my the new feature.
Yeah,
For the
I
record.
don't know if I had a family back then.
Carl, listen, let me
Genius,
just
Carl.
ask you now, right? If you can finish this sentence, we've got a chance. Divorced, beheaded, died. Divorced, beheaded.
Died. What is it?
We just need to do a little bit of work, but otherwise I think you're going to be fine. It's how you remember what happened to Henry VIII's wives.
They're little...
Divorced, beheaded, died. Divorced, beheaded.
It's like spam. Support... What's it? Support, protection, anchorage, movement. That's how
You're going to that's nothing to do with the Tudors
No,
and
nothing to
Stuarts.
do with the skeleton.
Yeah, see, no, we're not doing biology.
Mnemonics and acronyms. and
What happened to Henry VIII's last wife? Did she die, or did she not die? Divorced, beheaded, died. Divorced, beheaded.
Do you know that the only king that has got a moustache is... No. The only king that hasn't got a moustache is the King of Hearts on the playing cards.
What's the record you're going to play?
I want to resurrect the career of a different artist each week. This is an artist who's overlooked by the general public.
The red card.
This is Amy Mann, and she always seems to get overlooked. This was a single a while back.
Well,
I
I've
think
got
it's
one
called
eye.
Red Vines. Play it, Carl.
Fantastic.
You see, what upsets me is the way that Amy Mann,
Yeah.
she's written songs as good as that. She's
Yeah.
released it as a single. She had to, I think, put the album from which that's taken out by herself over the internet. She was Oscar nominated
Yeah.
for the songs in the film Magnolia. She couldn't get a record label. I don't know if she's now got one. And yet there's people like Alanis Morissette shifting
That is
shed
absolutely
loads of songs.
beautiful.
I don't
That is
understand what the
fantastic.
rules are. I don't know why she's
See,
not a household
Carl,
name.
well, there's
What-
beautiful things like that in the world. Why do you care about epoxy
Well,
GCSE?
what did she get for history?
What did she get for history?
Yeah.
I think she did very poorly.
Why do you care? See, I was just going to say, this has backfired a little bit, because Karl is genuinely... I don't know if he's actually upset or embarrassed, but it doesn't matter. Why does it matter? You were 15 and didn't go to school.
If you were my friends, I think you would have just said, oh, we can't find them.
Why? But you just
wanted
matter,
to know.
though.
What's to do with that?
Well, what do you mean? What do you mean? It's ridiculous. Do it again because you want to learn, because there's great things in the world to learn about. Don't worry. The GCSE is vocational. Is vocationally for a 15, 16-year-old to go on to do A levels or whatever, or to get results. But you don't need that because you've done very well. You don't care about the Tudors and the Stuarts. I mean, you know.
I mean, I've had a couple of jobs, not this one, because you don't need qualifications to get a job.
Obviously.
Yeah.
In the radio.
Obviously,
You're absolutely right.
But
Yeah.
ones that I have got in the past, I did, because I didn't collect them, I had to lie. And I didn't like go mad. I didn't say I had A's and stuff. But I didn't put history down because I didn't even know I did it.
So it's a bonus.
I kind of treated myself to like a D and a couple of C's and that. So it's like, well, he's not.
I love the fact that Karl even then was honourable. It's like, I'll at least put down the ones I think I took and lie, but the ones I didn't take, I won't lie about.
Yeah, and don't give yourself a B. If they're going to find out you lied, give yourself a B
Well,
next
it
time,
could
Karl.
backfire, couldn't it? I mean, my brother's a bit mental, and he used to do things like go for jobs and say, "Oh yeah, I've done this before," like being a mechanic, and he's never even picked up a spanner, and yet he'd have the confidence to go and try and fix cars. Well, I'm not that daft, but God, and
Who do you blame for this?
that's just an easy way out. I have to blame myself. Don't I?
Yeah.
What was the
Well-
teacher like?
Well, there's loads of different ones. I didn't like. I mean, the history teacher, it is my own fault because with her, she's a bit mental, and I used to kind of stop the lesson by saying, "Oh, miss, tell us about your fireplace you've got that is made from a gravestone," because that's what
That
she
would
had.
stop any English teacher in their
No, 'cause-
tracks.
and she loved telling you about it. So
Yeah.
it was like, oh,
I learned
brilliant.
that from a
So
teacher,
that's why I
yeah.
didn't know about divorce, head loss, and all that.
Yeah.
Dandruff legs.
Because-
Horse, head loss, dandruff legs.
But remember now, divorced, beheaded, died, divorced, beheaded, survived. That's all you got to remember.
And what's that?
That's what happened to Henry VIII's various
In order.
wives. In order.
What does it spell out?
No, it doesn't spell out
spell anything, you just
it's
gotta
saying
remember
it.
the rhythm.
In order in which he married.
Yeah, but it helps. It's like when my mum taught me the alphabet. She taught me as like a song.
A,
And like
B, C,
constant-
D, E, F, G.
Yeah, constantly. No, not like that.
Huh.
That's how everyone else could do it, and I couldn't do it that way.
Right.
What
That
tune did she do
A,
it
B,
to?
C, D. It was A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z.
Dandy Warhol's Get Off on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais. With me, Steve Merchant.
Hello.
It's 2:05 on the day that Karl, our producer, found out that he had an E in history, GCSE, and nothing else because he didn't actually register. I can't believe he registered for that. I don't know.
I didn't. That's
Someone else put you in. They can't have put you in because you were away. They probably said, oh, you know, you didn't register in that. Listen, obviously you're feeling a little bit melancholy because it's, you know, it's like you're hearing it for the first time, so it's like you're 16 again. But it was to be expected. But
No,
listen, it doesn't matter. It actually doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
But listen. Take it again. Take it again. For your just. Is there a history teacher listening? What's the number? 08700 800 123. They can tell us the syllabus this year. 1, 2, 3, 4, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. What is it?
08700.
I've got maths. 08700 800 1234. Mine's more laziness that I couldn't be able to say that last digit.
Yeah.
Really, I've done most of the work.
If we get onto your problems, then we're going to be. It's a whole other show.
It doesn't matter really, because like you say, right, I've done all right for myself.
Yeah.
It's that old thing of like, when you get older, if you find out that your dad's not your dad, it's like, it doesn't matter, he was a dad to me.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So...
Are you saying Mr. Nuttall wasn't your real teacher?
Give out the number again, Rick, what are we after?
08700 800 1234. Is
No
there a
one's gonna
history
want to teach
teacher
me.
out there that may know how we can... Is he too late to register this time?
What's
Do we
the
have to
syllabus
pay for
this
it?
year?
What's the syllabus this year? Do we have to pay for it? And does he want to earn, like, 25 quid cash in hand to give Karl a couple of lessons? I'll stump that up. Take it, yeah? Be great. Be fantastic.
They probably won't want to do it though.
We'd
It's that
film
thing,
it.
isn't
It'd be a documentary on choice. Heat magazine be right behind it. There'd be, you know, little clues. We could have a little question and answer, little quizzes. You know what I mean? Be
Rick,
great.
before we play the next record, I've just been looking through the XFM gig guide, and I just wanted to let you know that at Spitz this evening, Commercial Street E1, doors at 8 o'clock, Gut Bucket are playing. So, no, just a lot of listeners will probably want to know that. So I don't want anyone to miss out on the Gut Bucket gig at Spitz tonight, Commercial Street E1.
That's a good plug for the Gut Bucket boys.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage.
Now, Steve just played one of the most beautiful records. I mean, so I've got to up the ante here, and I'm gonna play another Jimmy Webb track. I played it off 10 Easy Pieces last week, and I have played this track before, but a different version. You'll know it, obviously better by Glenn Campbell. He wrote a lot of songs for Glenn Campbell, and this is Galveston, and this is absolutely beautiful. Jimmy Webb there, and Galveston. See, and during that, Karl said, "What's this about?" Didn't you? See, things you're interested in, you see? If only you're that inquisitive when the Tudors and Stuarts came up, you'd have a C or
So
a
we
B.
didn't even do Stuarts.
Didn't you?
It's just Tudors.
Oh, they're the worst, aren't they? Stuarts, I've got a lot of time for. The Tudors can, you know what I mean? Listen, right. As you know, I lent Karl, part of his education, his historical education, I lent Karl Gladiator, the movie, on DVD, which he watched on his PlayStation 2, and Rasputin.
Do you know last week when you gave me this, did you know my result for history?
No.
That's weird, isn't it?
Yep. Now, right, okay, it's the film review. Karl, you just tell it from the heart, tell us what you thought about the film, what you thought the...
Can I just ask, is this the first time you'd seen Gladiator? You'd never seen it before?
No.
Okay. And what were your thoughts?
Okay. The film review. Gladiator.
It's alright. Nothing great. It's like an old, sort of an old version of Rocky done in the olden days, really.
Right.
A bloke fighting other people.
Sure.
How sort of well known is the story? Do you reckon people know the basics?
Well, just very quickly, just do the
Right,
plot.
quickly. There's a guy called Max.
Maximus, yeah.
Yeah. There's Caesar, and there's Caesar's kid, and Max goes to war, sort of wins it, comes back. Caesar says, "You're good at what you do. I wish my son was as good as you. So I want you to be in charge when I die." His kid finds out, a bit annoyed about it, kills his dad, because he don't want anyone to hear that he said that he wants him to be in charge.
Yeah.
So his kid gets in charge and thinks, "I'll show you. You're not going to be king, I am. You're going to be a slave or something." And then Next thing you see is...
Sorry, can I just stop there? My only thought is the film's 3 hours long, so maybe we shouldn't go through the whole plot.
We've done the first 10 minutes, but
Yeah.
go on. So, yeah, he's a slave, and then...
Yeah, but then, that was an interesting bit that I thought, right? I mean, I was watching this with a girlfriend, she was already annoyed because she wanted to watch Friends on E4.
Okay. Yeah. It was a good episode as well this week.
Was it?
Yeah.
Don't tell her that.
Okay.
Right, so she was annoyed and she said, come on then, put it on. And I got it wrong straight away because it says on the back 149, so I thought that was an hour and 49 minutes. It turned out it was 149. No, I thought it was 1 hour 49.
Yeah.
But it was 149 minutes.
Sure.
So it overran anyway.
By 40 minutes.
Yeah. So anyway, the interesting bit was where he was going across the desert on a horse. And I think to show you how long he'd been going across the desert on his horse, he's showing you a shot of the horse's knees and they were bleeding. And I just wondered whether that's what horses do if they run for a long time. Do you know?
I don't. Good.
Right, so anyway, so he goes on, he keeps going on like this. He's a slave, and then he has a fight at the end with the Caesar's kid, and he kills him. And that's how it ended.
Okay, good. What did you think of it? Just generally, what bits... What do you think was wrong with it?
Right, well, I've read up on it, and there's already a fact that is wrong.
Right.
Caesar's kid, he didn't actually kill his dad. His dad died of a natural death.
Right, in real life, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
And, what's Caesar's kid's name? Comedian or something?
I think it's comedian, yeah.
Yeah.
That's where the name comes from. When a funny person is called a comedian. 'cause
He
their name
didn't
happens.
actually get killed in real life by Max.
No.
He died by his sister poisoning him, and he didn't die. No.
Are you saying that this is not a historical document?
It's wrong.
All over the place.
Yeah.
Well,
in
next
terms
week,
of-
next week I'm giving you Braveheart, and that is actually true. That is factually accurate.
I can't handle
It is. It was a little Australian fella that helped him out.
Just for people who watched it,
Go
you
on.
know that the guy, Caesar's kid,
Yeah.
he died. His sister tried to poison him. That didn't work. Apparently, he was a gay fella, and his boyfriend, who was a wrestler, strangled him. That's
Where did you get this information?
on the internet. I thought I'd look it up to see how much of it I actually got right,
Yes.
and that's what I read.
Okay, so out of 10?
5.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's no good. I wouldn't get it out. It's annoying the way it says, like, you know, this film's got to be seen at the cinema, because I saw it at home and I don't think I missed out on anything.
Very good point. I think that's probably the point they're making, but yours is valid too. We'll play a record, and after that I'm going to ask you about Rasputin, the Mad Monk. Travis and Sing. I like that. It's all right. It's a bit easy. It's not their best. I like their earlier stuff a little bit better, you know. But what I don't like is them throwing around mollusks. I don't like it when that poor little octopus gets flung around. I know it's dead, but there's a certain lack of respect for the
The whole mollusk community.
for the squid and
Yeah.
octopi
Like I said to
fraternity.
you, when I used to go to Wales for my holidays, they used to get washed up on the beach and people used to go over them on the motorbikes. And they were cheering and stuff, and it's just like, do you realise what you're doing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sick, isn't it?
But anyway, Gladiator, just was going to add on the end of that. If you're into that sort of film, Jason and the Argonauts is probably a better bet.
Is that factually accurate?
Did you look that up or not? Did skeletons actually come out of the ground and fight?
Yeah.
you?
I don't know, but it's a more enjoyable film.
Okay.
And it's
Okay.
shorter.
Okay, now, just moving quickly on, just to the last item on Karl's re-education this week. Rasputin, you read a little book about Rasputin?
What did you know about Rasputin before you read the book, Karl?
Can I just tell you, when I handed him this book, it was my house, I said, right, he went, is he the one that lived under the bridge? And I went, what do you mean? He went, the fella that lived under the bridge, and you had to pass him with a, and Jane, went, you're thinking of, Rapunzel. And he went, yeah. And I went, well, that's not Rapunzel either. Rapunzel's, you had to say his name, you know, you had to guess his
The person
name.
who lived under the
Three-
bridge was the troll in the three little
Yeah,
brick graph.
I'm a troll, foldy well. So, to answer your question, Steve, that's what he knew about Rasputin. Okay?
So have you read this whole book? Can I just have a look at it, Rick?
This whole book, it's about the size of a beer mat.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, but did you read the whole thing?
No.
You didn't
Well,
manage
you
to read
didn't
the whole
even
thing.
do that.
Well, again, some of the names in there are so long and foreign sounding that I just thought, I can't remember all these. So I
No.
just got to the meat of the story.
Go on,
Okay,
what
what
is
did
it
you
then?
learn about Rasputin?
Right. He was a monk,
Yep.
and
Mad?
he.
Was he a mad monk?
Hang on a minute.
Don't confuse
mess it
him.
up.
Sorry,
Right.
go on.
God. You see, this is what happened in the exams. Right. It was.
Oh, don't do that when I'm drinking, Carl.
was-
Please, mate.
He loved his women. And that's how the story started off. He had really nice.
Story started off. Yeah.
He had really nice eyes, and that's what everyone fell for, especially the women.
Yeah.
Anyway, the people back then thought he had special powers because he could hypnotise people or something.
Oh, yeah.
And it was about a little lad who had some sort of blood clot on his leg, and he said, "Just calm down, and you'll be all right." And people thought he had special powers, but what he was doing, he was saying, "Calm down," and he relaxed, and it stopped the blood flowing sort of as fast, and that's how he got better. But anyway, that's the only bit of special work that he did. And then he kept going on, and he was going in brothels and all that. And the people in the town thought, this isn't right. He shouldn't be going about doing this. And
Where did he live?
Russia.
Right.
Is that right?
Yep.
What sort of era?
I thought you'd might know,
No,
sort
about
of.
1800.
All right. Okay.
And then
Do you want to check that, Steve? You got the book?
People
Well, I
got
know
sick
for a
of
fact that's
him.
not right.
People got sick of him, and they said, "Oh, we'll have to get rid of him." So they tried to. He loved cakes as well as women.
Okay.
So they said, "Let's poison a cake," and they poisoned a load. Of
Easier than
cakes.
poisoning a woman, wouldn't it?
And he ate these cakes, and it just didn't kill him. And they were like, "God, what's going on?" And they kept giving him more and more cakes, and
He was suspicious.
and that didn't work. So the fella said, "That's it. I'm going to shoot him." So.
Well, I imagine it was the end of his tether.
So-
I mean, he was back and forth to Mr. Kipling's.
He
go on.
shot him once, and that didn't work, and the fella thought, oh my god, and he started running away, and Rasputin's running after him, and he shoots him like another, I think he took 4
Face
bullets.
full of Battenberg.
Four bullets.
Did
It
you
took,
swear then?
4 bullets it took to kill him, and then this fella who was after him chucked him in an icy lake, and that was the end of him. But I don't understand, sort of,
What don't you understand, Carl?
well, the fact that, he's a bit of a name in history, and I don't understand why, because it just sounds a bit like my brother.
Does he love women and cakes? And do you think that'll be his downfall?
Right, I want you to study. Right, if you want to do, that's the first introduction. Right, if you want to do some extracurricular,
What would that get me?
There's a song by Boney M that lays it out.
Suzanne told me about that, saying about Russia's greatest love machine.
Yeah.
But it didn't say anything about cakes.
No,
I think if you get the 12-inch mix,
no, but
explain what
they
that's
say
for.
according to Boney M, and I don't know who's correct, the bloke who wrote that or M. They put some poison into his wine. Now I don't know if M have done their research or whether they did shoot him until he was dead. According to them, he was the greatest love machine in Russia. I don't think it says that in the book, but M might know more than that fella.
So what's your final verdict on Rasputin?
Just a normal bloke who didn't have that much luck, really. That's what I don't understand. I was waiting for something special at the end, but just a normal fella, really.
Yeah, just an everyday. Happens all the time, doesn't it?
Just an everyday mad monk.
Yeah, just an everyday mad monk. You have to shoot and poison and throw in icy lakes to kill him, and who loves women and cakes. I mean, come on, do we need another one of them?
Boring.
So what would you say about him then? How would you sum him up?
I think you've done it.
I think you've done it.
There you go.
So next week, Che Guevara, you going to read the book?
I don't know.
Come
Yeah,
on.
Next week, Che Guevara. Take it home. There he is.
Give it here then. Nice one.
Good luck.
Cheers.
Richard X. The Sugar Babes are freaks electric. Are they, Carl?
Don't know. I feel like feels like Christmas Day.
What, you didn't get the gift you wanted?
Yeah, do you know that like anticlimax?
Yeah.
When
You've been looking forward to it for so long.
yeah,
Well, I mean, I knew you were looking forward to it. That's why it took you 14 years to get the result, and then it was 2 other people that got them for you.
Do you wish that we hadn't done it?
no, it's all right.
It's alright, isn't it?
What's your girlfriend going to say?
I don't think I'll see her again.
She likes a man who knows about the Tudors and Stuarts, does she?
Yeah, first gladiator, then the...
Yeah, you've been bluffing. Whenever she said, "Where did you go to Stuarts?" You go, "Good." Like, lots of things, but look, it's a bird.
What happened to Henry VIII's last wife?
Oh, I wouldn't... yeah. Oh, look, Friends is on telly.
Friends is on.
No, I just changed the subject by saying things like, about the only king in a pack of cards.
That threw off the scent.
That threw us off the scent.
That wouldn't fool an invigilator, would it? That's the thing. You can't use that one with an exam board.
Karl, have you ever logged on to Friends Reunited? It was the site that everyone was talking about last year.
No.
Are you aware of the concept?
I've heard about it, but there's no one from school who'd want to see it again, really.
So basically, for those that don't know, you have to log on to his website, and then it helps you track down your old schoolmates if they've also logged on and stuff. And we took the liberty, really, of looking on the Friends Reunited site and typing in your school and trying to track down any of your old mates. We didn't get in touch with any of them, don't worry.
We didn't do that.
We're not going to surprise you with them now.
No.
But I was just interested to know, like, some of your thoughts on some of the names that I could run past you. I mean, these are people from your year. Just tell me if you recognise the names. Alison Birch?
Think I remember her.
What's your thoughts on her?
Don't
be libelous.
Don't be like no.
No. Posh probably did pretty well in history and that.
Sarah Morris?
God, yeah. Remember her.
Go on. You're grinning. What's the thought? Go on.
No, just she was all right. She was a popular one.
What does that mean?
She was nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What about Darren Buckley?
He was one of my best mates.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
What do you reckon he's doing now? Do you still keep in touch?
When my mum and dad were still in Manchester and they had a butty shop, he used to go in because the bookies was next door.
I love the way you paint a picture. If you did this in your history exam, Karl, you will walk it.
Go on. So your parents had a butty shop. There was a bookies next door.
Yeah, and he liked having a bit of a gamble, so he used to. I think he works for some insurance company.
Do you think that his fiancée Beth knows he's got a gambling problem? Or that his 2-year-old son Lewis?
No.
Yeah, they live in Cheadle Hume.
Cheadle Hume. He must be doing well.
He's still supporting the Blue Army and frequents the shrine on a fortnightly basis.
Funny thing with him is, right, when I used to stay over at his house, and his dad was a copper, and I remember his dad came down and said, "Right, I want to see you two." I was like, "Oh God, what's happened?" And got us round the table. And he said, "Do you know much about drugs?" So we were like, "What's all this about?" So he goes, they're not good for anyone, they're stupid thing to get into. And we're like, "Yeah, we know." And he went, "You know, do you?" We said, "Yeah." He said, "What's this then?" And he'd found something in his bedroom, and it was a Skittle.
What, the sweet?
Do you know little sweets with the S on it? And
Oh, really?
Drugs.
Yeah.
So he said, "Well, yeah, it's a Skittle." "Yeah, I know what it is."
Oh, he was bluffing like that as a slang word.
Yeah, he thought because he was a copper, he probably had to be down with all the terms and that. So we said, "Oh, it's a Skittle." And he said, yeah, I know what it is, but what's it doing in your bedroom?"
Oh.
It was like, "No, it's a toffee." So, Darren,
Yeah, I know, it's a toffee, it's a squib, it's a, yeah.
Karl, more people from your past. Debbie Carr?
Yeah, she was another nice one.
What does that mean? Is that a euphemism?
No, she was one of them that you'd sort of go, she's nice, but she'd never be your girlfriend. Do you know what I mean? She was,
Not really.
Even though she was in the same year, she seemed a lot older.
Right.
And
It wasn't a teacher, was it?
There was 3 of them who all hung together, and they seemed to hang around like the older kids, the ones who looked like men. Do you know what I mean?
What did you look like then?
Well, it's just that I had youthful sort of looks, whereas like the older ones had like beards and stuff.
It's the gang of boys in the 5th form with beards. Were they smoking pipes? Come over here, me filly. Oi, Debbie Carr, come over here, you little beauty.
No, but she was like...
I love that. Hanging around with beards. There's the big boys. Oh, fishing. That's lovely beards. What do you
I
mean?
just see a whole row of George Bernard Shaws. Brilliant.
How do you do in history, boy? Think on you're an idiot.
Oh.
They were like, I'd be there sort of punching people in the arm.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a great game.
Oh, I love that, punch people in the arm.
Is that part of the Olympics now?
it's I think it was exhibition this year.
Right.
But it's
going to be a pro next
It's going to be the Winter Olympics because you've got to do it in just a cap sleeve shirt in winter. Yeah.
So you're playing that?
But whilst I
But
was
she didn't
doing
appreciate that. She used to go, ow!
No, I always think whilst I was doing that, they were like the Charlie's Angels, and they'd be sorting out a mission somewhere because they were really like there was something about them that you thought, you know, yeah, they're special.
They were private detectives.
What do they work for a man they never see?
Okay, well, here's a name I'm interested in because, well, let me just tell you the name first. Adam Clifton. Oh. Go on, what are your thoughts on Clifton?
He was one of them kids. He was all right, but he had that thing when if you didn't have enough milk, he had like wrinkly hands and like white bits in his nails.
Oh,
because he didn't have enough milk.
Yeah.
So therefore, you didn't like him because he didn't get enough milk.
This is not to be confused with the two people with the big heads and the webbed feet, is it?
Webbed hands.
Well, this was interesting.
They weren't related. They must have been somewhere along the evolutionary sort of trail. Do you know what I mean? They must have come from the same sort of stock.
But you wouldn't have liked him. It's just one of them people. He was all right, but
before you say any more, on Friends United, you can leave a little message which explains what you've been doing and what your life's like now. And most people leave maybe 2 paragraphs.
Yeah.
Adam, I've printed it off. He seems to have printed. I think there's about 6 pages here of stuff. He keeps updating it, and he just basically lists his memories about everyone. Okay, at the school and what he thinks of everyone. And he says, I often see Simon, he's doing all right for himself, self-employed illustrator, Mark Cooper, Karl Pilkington.
Right.
And your name comes up. Now, I don't know if you've told us this story. I think you may have done, but I can't remember the facts about it. It just says, Karl Pilkington, with his pet bird. Was it a magpie? I can't remember. He brought it to school to show everyone, and it flew away.
Oh, God! Oh, no, they do that, don't they? You show them the
What was the story there,
You
Karl?
give them seed and they just leave. What do you mean?
Well,
this sounds like Kez.
Well, that's it. I was a big fan of Kez, and it was the time our dog had just died.
Yeah.
So I didn't have any pets, and the cats were always getting run over.
Yeah.
And so we didn't want any more pets.
Yeah.
But there was a magpie that used to fly about on the estate, and I managed to sort of tame it. And in the end,
with a chair and a whip. What do you mean you tamed it?
Well, just used to sort of hang around it and talk.
But how did you get hold of it? Did you catch it?
Well, eventually, yeah, it used to just come to me, and the annoying thing was, it got to a point when I wish I hadn't bothered, because it used to pop me bike tyres. It used to sit on like, if I was talking to my mates and I was on my grifter.
I love the way he just throws things in.
It's like an Alan Bennett play.
It landed on my tyre, and it used to peck at the tyre and pop it, and then it used to then never go away, so it was always like around the house, and my dad said never bring it in. So it used to sit on the porch, and I used to go out, and it used to fly down and land on my head, and it really hurt. It used to like peck and stuff.
He thought it was a tyre.
So it wasn't so much tamed as a stalker.
Oh, God.
So you took it to school and it flew away?
Yeah.
So did you take it in proudly going, look at my magpie? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I think it got a bit confused in the area that it was in, because I used to just keep it sort of around our estate, but the school was a bit of a distance away.
How did you get it there?
Tying it on my finger.
Did you walk?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was happy there, and then it got...
But it used to be one of those things that people would stop me in the street and sort of go, oh, what's that?
And I don't suppose you
called it Maggie.
You didn't get Charlie's Angels to go and find out what happened to it? Investigate?
Were they impressed?
No, not really.
No.
But go on, any...
Carl, let's come back to it. Let's have a hip hop hooray track. It's the big hip hop selection from Big Steve Merchant. I don't know what I'm talking about there. Just trying to sound hip. This is Spearhead from many years back. A track again I think got largely overlooked at the time, but worth hearing again. People in the Middle.
Oh, right.
Spearhead, People in the Middle. Michael Franti, surely one of the greatest rappers, I think. He's just, if you've ever heard him bust it live, Rick, he's almost as good as me.
I'm just going to tell the listeners there, Karl, this is quite a little insecure sort of chap, and he was just worried about that last bit. He was going, who would ever find that interesting? He was worried about people finding him boring. And Steve said, as I said, you know, it's like an Alan Bennett thing. He went, yeah, but, you know, no one would care about Alan Bennett if he wasn't such a hit maker. They wouldn't care what he had to say. And we just looked at him for a while, and he went, thinking of Tony Bennett. Bless him.
Listen, it's almost the end of the show, Carl.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really been a Carl special.
This is a Carl special, yeah.
Well, next week, we'll lay off next week.
We have to
We're not going to...
He wants to retire a little bit, just...
Well, those old lottery numbers might come up tonight anyway.
Exactly. You might... What are they again? What's the 4 you've got with?
Fuck my way now.
What? Come on, well, give us all 6.
No.
Why?
Karl, while you're rummaging for that,
5, 9, 12 and 26.
a few more names that you may recall from Friends Reunited.
Go on.
Lisa Shufflebotham? Do you remember her?
Yeah, she...
Was she one of Charlie's Angels?
No, she wasn't that nice, but she wanted me. her and her mate Rachel, I remember, I don't know why, but it was some sort of PE lesson where it had to be a bloke and 2 girls, and they were fighting over me.
Could you hear what they were saying?
They were just like, I want him, and I was loving it. Stuck in the middle, and they were fighting over me. And then the next week, I thought I'll sit near them.
What
again.
sort of game do they play at this school?
I don't know.
That's an incredible game.
But I think
Punch me on the arm. No, punch me on the arm, Karl.
They just went through it. Because the following week, I thought, right, I'll sit near them again because I quite enjoyed the way they fighted over me. But then they picked somebody else, and I don't know who I was with that week.
So you didn't get any action with Shufflebotham or a friend?
No. And then as she got older, she went a bit off. She didn't look that good. She's probably nice now. It's just, I mean, I'll say about myself, when you get to sort of the end of secondary school, you do sort of go a bit odd looking.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? When your sort of head grows funny.
I would just love to go back to his school of that era. I mean, just what happened to people, whether, you know, all people sprouting limbs.
No, do you know what I mean? When you're like 12 and that, you quite... No, not 12. When you're 10, when you're 7 to 10, you sort of look healthy, and you look at your pictures when you go, yeah, I was a good-looking lad. But then when you get to late secondary school, something happens, and you just look a bit odd.
Okay, well, what about Alison Thorpe?
Not sure about her. I sort of know the name, can't put a face to it.
Damien Comer?
Again, know the name.
Yeah.
Can't remember anything.
No.
Yeah.
It's a shame. Well, those are pretty much all the names I could find. We've had some interesting thoughts, though, and interesting anecdotes.
Yeah.
Anyone in particular that you'd like to say hello to that maybe listening now that
No, I think I would have mentioned Darren Buckley if you hadn't brought him up.
Oh, right.
He was like me buddy.
Yeah. Did you ever see the Magpie game when you took it to the school and confused it?
No.
You're joking. That was the end of it, was it?
Yeah.
So where did it go?
Probably to some other kid. Because, I mean, actually, it probably got killed. Because if it was being that friendly with other people, some people might have took advantage of it.
In what way?
Well, there was a programme on the other week about...
What, in the way that Shufflebotham was trying to take advantage of you?
There was a programme on the other week about bear whisperers.
Yeah.
And some blokes got really friendly with a bear. And then when they were leaving that area where the bear was, they said, oh, we've caused a problem here. Because there's some bear hunters coming in and moving into this area. And it's going to get a bullet if it acts like this. So they had to scare it away. And that's what I should have done with Maggie. I should have terrified it a little bit. So it wouldn't trust humans.
Just introduced it to some of your schoolmates, I'm sure would have freaked it right out.
Well, the ones with
maybe
the
that was
big
why it
heads.
fled.
It didn't see. Oh no! It didn't see those 2 fellas with big heads and webbed hands coming towards it, did it?
That would have terrified anything. It's like a scarecrow, like 2 walking scarecrows. Listen, have we got time for a song for the ladies? What's happening? We've not really thought.
Quick then, quick, just do it. Just do it. Thanks very much.
Well, hang on, no, we haven't lined anything up, have we?
I was going to play Mary Lawson and that for you. And then
Is this going to be the final track?
It has to be.
it would be, yeah.
We've blown it. We've blown it on the Karl special.
We have indeed.
I'll play it next week. So Karl there's got an E at history in GCSE. Any history teachers, anyone who can help Karl out, I think we should try and register him and take it this June. So what's
your homework for this week?
You've got to read about Che Guevara, haven't you?
Yeah.
The revolutionary leader.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know anything about him at all? Have you got any basis?
I just know that if you want to use his face on your business, it costs a lot of money. Do you know, like, if McDonald's wanted to have him as, like, instead of Ronald McDonald?
How does he do it? Steve, how does he do it, mate?
Oh, we listen, just play a final record, Karl. Say goodbye, and we'll see you next week.
Alright.
See you later.
Cheers, mate.
Pete Yawn for Nancy on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant.
Hello.
Karl Pilkington. Steve, you got any other toilet-related anecdotes?
Rick, my life is just full of toilet trauma.
Yeah.
And Karl, you may not realise this, but a while back I used to host, this is bizarre, I used to host a radio show on the BBC World Service, right? Now, if you want someone who's the voice of integrity, the voice of intelligence, the voice of a nation, you're going to come to me. That's obvious. And I was broadcasting, so now they've got listeners of something like 50, 60 million people around the world. It's mental, the listenership of the World Service. And I used to host this show with someone
It's a big place, Steve.
The World?
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. And anyway, so I had to be into Bush House where they broadcast from 10 o'clock every Friday morning to broadcast around the world to 50 million people, right? And one week, I went to the toilet in my house, right? Everyone had left. I got there a bit late. I got up a bit late. Already against me. The clock was already against me. Had to be there at 10 o'clock, broadcast around the world. And we got 2 toilets in our house, downstairs one, right? And the door had already been a bit dodgy. It was one of those doors where you had to give it a bit of a kick as you went in. It was getting a bit tight. I don't know what the wood was expanding or something. You know, I'm in there. And same thing again happens. No toilet paper. I think, oh, God, I'm going to have to somehow kind of make it up.
Why don't you check first?
I normally do, Rick. I normally do. It's just on like certain occasions when I'm bleary-eyed or something, I forget, or occasionally I forget. Normally I do check.
Right.
And you've got to bear in mind that it's not like this is happening every week. This is over the course of many years that
Sure.
these incidents have accumulated. So
You've condensed them.
for the purposes of this anecdote.
Sure.
Yeah. Yes. And great. You're just brilliant to keeping the pace up of an anecdote there, Rick. You've just drawn in. I don't know where I am now. Anyway, I know where I am. I'm trapped in a toilet with no toilet paper.
Yeah.
That's where I am. And I'm thinking maybe I peel off some of the wallpaper, you know, things like that. But there's nothing I can do. I got to go upstairs.
Newspaper.
Well, exactly. But I'm going to have to go upstairs and find
Toilet paper, was there any?
There wasn't.
There wasn't? Oh.
I'm going to have to go upstairs and maybe find a notepad or something like that. And so I try the door, right? The door's wedged. I'm pulling on the door and I can't get the door open. It's just like it won't come open. And it's already, and I knew it was going to come to this at some point. Like, this is like, the clock's ticking. I'm trying to pull the door open, trousers around my ankles again. And I'm thinking, well, what I could do is I could open the window, I suppose, and like try and climb out. But not really, because I got the trousers around the ankles. And that's
Or if it was raining, just stick your ass out, 2 birds with one stone.
Sadly, it was a beautiful day, Rick.
I call it the World Bee Day.
And so what I'm thinking is, well, I got my mobile phone in there, luckily, because it's in my pocket. I'm thinking, well, maybe I could phone, I was seriously,
Kleenex.
maybe I'll phone the fire brigade.
By this point, I mean, it just dried.
No, it hadn't, it was...
Hold on, was that little puppy not around? Because sometimes you can call that, it's got a little bit wrapped round it.
Listen.
Or
This is
just use the
serious
puppy
issue.
itself.
There's 50 million people around the world going to
Yeah.
need to hear my voice in like
Yeah.
30 minutes.
Exactly.
And-
Where's Steve? He's not locked in the toilet again, is he?
Exactly.
Oh, no.
So I'm thinking about phoning the fire brigade, and I'm thinking,
Sure.
like, if I do that, it's gonna be the first call that goes straight on the speakerphone.
Yeah.
For like the entire fire brigade service
With
everywhere.
a butch hero carrying you down over his shoulders with your trousers around your ankles. Can I just not pull him up? No, you've got to be taught a lesson.
Yeah. But I imagine the idea of phoning up and going, hello there, I'm trapped in a room in my house. Oh yeah, which one is it? Oh,
It's
I don't
quite
need
small.
to know.
It's quite small. Is it?
Yeah. It's not the toilet, is it? Because we don't want to come and rescue someone who's trapped in the toilet.
Which
No.
service do you require? Paper?
So I think I can't find the fire brigade. The clock's ticking. So then I think one of my housemates is still in the house, but still asleep. So I phone the house number. Right, phone rings and rings and rings for ages. And eventually he answers the phone, right? Gets out of bed, answers the phone, yeah. Hi, it's Steve. All right, what's wrong? I'm
What are you doing?
downstairs.
What are you doing? All right, yeah. I didn't wait. I don't know. What are you doing? Just in the
I'm just
toilet.
downstairs in the toilet.
Oh, yeah, what are you doing? Well, I've finished what I'm... Have you got any toilet paper?
Any bog roll.
Yeah.
So he had to kind of scrape together a few bits of paper, you know, and sort of tinfoil or whatever he could find
Yeah.
in the house.
A cactus.
Come down,
Oh, no.
pass it underneath the door, right? And then I said, can you move away from the door because I don't want you to hear me as I'm, you know, wiping the... And so
You
he
didn't say that?
Yeah, well, I didn't want him to, you know, that's embarrassing.
Sorry,
That's embarrassing.
What were you wiping it with? Not tumbleweed. What do you mean? What
No, but
noise?
I know what you mean.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Right.
So then I say, right, can you smash
Why
the-
was he hovering? Why didn't he want to walk away? Will you keep your... What was it? Outside with a glass to his ear?
Yeah. Thankfully, there was a window in the door, but it was frosted glass. You could just see my semi-naked body moving around. And so eventually I said to him, look, listen, I'm going to need you to sort of kick the door in. He said, well, I don't want to kick the door in because you're going to have to pay for it, aren't we? I go, yeah, but I got to go to the World Service. Well, yeah. And he was a lovely man. He's the weakest man you've ever come across. It's like if there's one person you don't want to have to throw their body weight against the door, it was him. He's like he'll snap before the door will. So he's smashing against
This
the door.
sounds like a fetish to me, then. He went in there, and there you were naked with lots of toilet paper. And you go, oh, you've broken the door down, and there I am naked. Again.
Oh, you've rumbled me, Rick. I wish I'd not told that embarrassing story on the radio. Like it wasn't embarrassing enough, you've just got to make it slightly more seedy.
Oh, so did he get it down?
He did it, yeah, and I got to the World Service with like minutes to spare.
Oh.
And interestingly, I told that story to 50 million people around the
You're
world.
joking.
Yeah.
Did they understand?
I think so.
I mean, is that a bit of a problem when you're on the World Service? Like, thinking of things that everyone can understand?
Yes.
Because you can't.
It's a bit
just
like
talk
when
about-
talking to you.
Yeah, exactly, Carl. I think you're on thin ice there, worrying about people understanding what you're saying.
No, but you can't talk about stuff that's on the telly and that, because some people say, "Oh, we haven't even got a telly here."
Oh, yeah, you're listening to XFM 104.9. Play a record. Nirvana, all apologies on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, obviously, with me, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Well, Steve, I met up with. I know it's forbidden, usually.
I don't know why you
Let me
keep
just
doing it.
explain to the listener. Me and Steve have got a little bit of a pact. We're not allowed to talk to Karl during the week because he comes out with too much dynamite, and we want it to be fresh, and it's just unfair. And if he sees us laughing, he clams up a little bit because he knows something's wrong with his head. So, I was in a pub and, Karl called, he returned a call, I'd called Julian, and I said, I'm just across the road, right, come over. And, he came over and we had a conversation and, I kept saying, no, save it. And I can't remember half the things he was saying, but I do remember one thing he said. He said that the human eye never grows. He said, unlike your ears and nose that keeps growing all your life, he says the human eye never grows. Now there's a little bit of, he says, now you look at a baby, it's got big eyes. It's got the same size eyes as it will have.
When a baby's born, everyone always goes, "Oh, look at its eyes," don't they? Because that's like the main feature.
Yeah.
They're quite big. They don't grow. They don't get any smaller. They stay the same size.
What you mean? Once you become an adult, you've the same sized
No.
eyes.
Soon as you come out of the womb, your eyes, the size they are as a little baby, they stay the same size. It's
So
just
you
like the
die.
sockets.
And I pointed out to him, right, I said, if that was true, Steve Merchant, when he was a baby, with these eyes he's got now, would have looked like a hammerhead shark.
All right, calm down. You don't want to go lay into the eye.
Do you know what I mean? Just to prove my point.
I didn't laugh when he said that.
Respect.
Do you know what I mean, though?
I've got the eyes are the windows of the soul, and mine they happen to be enormous
French
plate glass
windows.
windows. Yeah. But nevertheless, they're beautiful. Many people find them beautiful.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah, many people do. But
Do you know they don't have kneecaps either?
My eyes, or
what?
Babies. When they're born, they don't get kneecaps until they're about 2.
they don't get knees.
Is that true?
Yeah. And also,
What are you
Yeah,
talking
true,
about,
might
Carl?
be
That's,
true.
but isn't it a little bone? It's part of the.
Well, no, but all
the leg bone.
you got lot more bones when you're born. Than
yeah, you got
eventually.
300 when you're born, then 205 when you're an adult.
Yeah, they're all fused, don't they?
Do they?
The head's got to be all soft to come out.
Right.
As we said earlier,
I would know. I'm a shark.
Oh,
So
God.
what did you say when he said about my eyes being huge?
Okay, get off it.
So that isn't nice, considering
Yeah.
he's not here. I
Yeah,
said I
talking
wait
about
until
him
he's
being
here when I slag him off.
Yeah, very well. No, nice one, Carl. You're an honourable man.
Oh, well, I know, you see, the thing is, right, that made me think that it might be a little bit of truth in this.
There is as well,
that-
the ear thing. Have you seen that with old
That's
men
true,
who have
yeah.
really long ears
Yeah.
and big noses?
Yeah.
You mean
do
that-
they eat buns and walk around in the jungle, these old men?
You mean that the ears and the nose carry on growing?
Yeah, they do, that's true. That's true, it's cartilage.
Yeah, but it's not like sort of Pinocchio.
No, after you're dead, you leave a body lying around, he's got a huge elephant
Really?
like this.
If you left him long enough?
4 foot nose, that's what,
Incredible.
yeah. No,
remarkable.
but it's about the focal, length in your eye, you see, because it's like a big lens. So it makes sense that they couldn't change that much. Because an owl, do you know why an owl turns its head round? Sort of like 180 degrees.
No.
Because it can't move its eyes, because the eyes take up the whole, it's the biggest eye in the animal kingdom. The eyes take up the whole of its skull.
Really?
Yeah, and it has to move its, yeah.
Has it got a brain in there as well?
It's got a brain in there, yeah, above the eye, yeah. When I say the whole of the skull.
Quite, yeah. There's also some space for the brain.
What I meant is the two diameters of the eye is the diameter of the.
You lost me
skull.
there with diameters. And
You didn't like maths, did you?
don't like maths. Never understood it. Couldn't get to grips with maths. I don't know about you, Carl.
Did you do maths, Carl?
Now, how did you do in your exams on the maths? Did you turn up? I bet yours was rather like my theory, which is why do you need to figure it all out when you've got a calculator?
Exactly.
Yeah, I knew it.
Yeah.
You're
And
right.
I agree.
Well, let's play a record, and afterwards I'm going to be testing you on your homework this week, Carl.
Could we do White Van Man first?
We could do, they've got to know
just to
what
remind
they're
people.
dealing with, yeah. Carl's homework was to read all about, as you know, Che Guevara.
Absolutely.
Last week he did well on Rasputin, didn't he?
Did very well on Rasputin. Yeah, passed with flying marks there.
So let's have a bit of Wu-Tang, shall we?
Then let's have White Van Man. White Van Carl. No.
Wu-Tang Clan there, Steve. XFM 104.9, I'm Ricky Gervais, with me, Steve Merchant and Karl Pilkington. Now, I just remember something else, Karl's in the week. I know it's forbidden to talk to him, but I'll tell you this. He was very excited about the Friends reunited. He was a bit nervous at first, wasn't he, last week? But he was really getting into it. And in the pub he was talking about those people, and he said, I'd never go on a reunion, though. He said, I'd never do that.
What, a school reunion?
Yeah, and he wouldn't want to see anyone. And I went, well, I said, wouldn't you want to see those two lads with the big heads and the webbed hands?
Oh, yeah, these were people you went to school with, weren't they?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't knock about with them. They were in the class.
What were they called?
Freaks.
Right.
Right. Okay. And he said, no, I wouldn't want to see them. He said, because what could you say? Oh, you haven't changed much, right? And he said, and they wouldn't go anyway, would they? I said, why? He went, well, they didn't have any friends.
All right.
And I said, well, weren't they friends with each other? And he went, no, that would have been too obvious. Like, they passed each other and went, no, I know it's tempting, but let's not.
Everyone would think that's just what we were going to do.
Yeah.
Let's not do it.
Yeah. So they didn't even hang around with each other.
No.
See, I must say, in my head, I've got something like it's like some sort of extra thing from Blake 7 that they're like some sort of lagoon monster, but they just had slightly oversized heads, did they?
See, does your head grow? Your eyes don't. Does your head? Because maybe they've got to a point now that it's all sort of caught up with each other.
Well, at the time, the eyes were very small and the head was huge.
Just a very big head. And
Yeah.
I mean, the fingers aren't going to change. That's not.
They had
not funny.
webbed fingers.
It was like the penguin in Batman.
Really? Are you sure?
No, honestly.
Are you sure they weren't wearing mittens?
No, seriously.
Yeah, they were. It wasn't home economics. They weren't getting some out of the oven, a very hot dish, were they? Every time you saw them.
But why were there two, but they weren't related and they weren't friends?
I don't know. I suppose it's like asthma and that, innit? Some kids have it. And it just was a
Yeah,
coincidence.
but asthma's quite a common thing. Webbed hands, Karl.
Yeah. I don't know. You don't think of it, do you, when you're a kid? You just sort of... when you first see them.
Yeah.
There goes the frogmen. Anyway, Karl, look, let's have a little quick session of White Van Man. For those that don't listen to the show regularly, The Sun, has a section called White Van Man where a member of the public gets asked their opinions on the week's big political and social hot potatoes. Karl, we just thought it would be fun if you answered some of the questions. It's not so much questions, it's just your views really on these big news stories. What do you make of Olympic ski hero Alan Baxter testing positive for drugs?
What did he do?
Well, he won a gold medal in the Olympics, and
what?
He was a skier,
Right.
and he won gold medal, and they've just tested him positive for some kind of illegal drug.
But what... I mean, if he did, why take drugs to ski?
Why?
Because all you do is balance.
But imagine, it'd be amazing if you were stoned, like going down a hill.
Yeah, it's not like you have
But
to...
it's not going to help you, is it?
No, it's
not
just
like,
gravity that's doing all the work, isn't it, with skiing?
Yeah, but it's often to do with your athleticism, isn't it? It's
No,
to
but
help
it'd be
you.
like saying, and we've just found out the people on the toboggan were on crack. It's not going to help them. You sit there and you go with the flow,
Yeah.
and you try and you hold
Could
on.
I say the drugs he was
Apparently
taking?
that's his defence,
Probably it probably wasn't jacking up H or dropping a few E's or getting stoned. He was probably taking more sort of
Steroids.
performance enhancing drugs as opposed to him just like scoring some shit around the corner from someone,
that
getting
doesn't-
off his tits and jumping in a toboggan. Doesn't mean that, does it?
He wasn't off his nut.
Yeah. You tested you. You pissed out your head.
But why doesn't he just say, don't be stupid, why would I do that? It's just not going to help me out.
But it is, isn't it? Because performance enhancing drugs do.
Wait a minute, Steve. Wait a minute, Karl. Right, look at this way. Okay, look at me. Yeah, have I got his attention?
Yeah, the lights glinting off your ring there.
Yeah.
You're attracted to him.
Okay, right. Now keep concentrating. Right. Some athletes, you're aware they take drugs. That's to build up
Swimmers
muscle.
and stuff.
Yeah, swimmers. For
Runners.
example, runners, yeah. Not only do they help build muscle, right, but they can actually, give them a boost performance, right?
Yeah.
They're sort of like steroids and all this sort of stuff, right? So that's the sort of thing we're talking about, okay?
Right, so again...
He wasn't on a
why
bong
would that help
before...
you?
What?
Why would that help you when all you've got to do is balance on skis?
Not when you're at the Olympic level.
Yeah.
There's a lot to do with, your body and your
No, it's
legs.
practice, isn't it? It's like, if you've skied for years, then you've got good balance after a bit.
Oh, do you know what, Karl? Do you know what? You've made a mockery of drug taking. Well done. Right,
Yeah.
next one, Steve.
I hate this bit. I hate this.
I don't know if you saw it. What did you make of Posh Spice's Warts and All documentary?
Yeah, I saw a bit of it.
What did you make of it?
I mean, people are slagging them off, aren't they? Saying, she's daft and that, but
Don't you.
she's... I think they're all right, honestly.
Yeah, I think they're all right.
She's all right. I mean, I think David's really a decent bloke.
Sure. Do you agree that he's quite a simple man?
Yeah, but he's a footballer. He doesn't need to be. Do you know what I mean? It's like me.
Yeah.
Like, you know, all right, I only got an E in history. But knowing about the Tudors doesn't help me press these buttons and put the next CD on.
No, sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, good luck to him, and he's done well out of it. It's just jealousy.
Yeah.
I remember, though, when I was back in Manchester, I was in Piccadilly train station, and he was there, right? Not as big a star as he is now, back then, but he was stood there, and I was so close to going over to him and saying, "Did you go to my school?" Because I recognised his face, but I didn't know who he was. Do you know when you sort of go, sure, I went to school, it's not the one with the big head.
Yeah.
But I do recognise him. Then my girlfriend got off the train and I said, I'm sure I know him. She said, yeah, it's David Beckham. And I was so
thank
close.
God for your girlfriend. Does she get an awful lot of scrapes, does she?
She does, yeah.
Okay, what about the fact that the pension crisis is going to force Britons to work into their 70s, Karl? You might have to carry on working into your 70s before you can claim a pension.
I think it's a good thing. Because you see a lot of old people who look bored. Okay. And I honestly think if you keep your brain busy, you'll live longer. Yeah. It's only when you actually shut down, right, that's when your body sort of dies because it doesn't feel it has a purpose. Yeah. It's like if you've got flu, keep going to work. If you have a day off, you just feel worse. You'll mope about at home. Doesn't do you any good.
What about where do you draw the line there? What if you say lose a finger? Pop into work?
Depends. If you can't concentrate because it's painful.
But what if you're a typist?
You're not going to type as many words, but you'll do more at work than you would having a day off at home.
Sure. Okay. Tony Blair turning trendy with his Paul Smith designed naked lady shirt. I don't know if you've seen this. It's the one with the pictures of naked ladies on the cuffs.
And, you know, I mean...
Okay. And finally...
see, this is what annoys me about this feature. It's just, what's that? So what?
Yeah, but it's the Prime Minister of this country wearing a trendy shirt with naked ladies on the cuffs.
All right.
Okay. And finally, what do you make of the fact that Top of the Pops have banned Will Young singing both tracks on the #1 slot, and consequently he wasn't on there at all? They had to show the video. It's the first time anyone's ever made this demand. He wants to sing both the A and B side.
Well, he can't.
It's double A, yeah.
Double A side.
That's what he wanted to...
That isn't how it works, is it?
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
And the thing is, which one... I mean, at the end of the day, loads of people have bought it, haven't they? And it's like one of the best. So it doesn't really matter what it does because people have got it. They can listen to what song they want at home. Doesn't matter about what Top of the Pops do.
Yes.
And it's just annoyed me now. It's
who's annoyed you?
Just what goes on in the world. I tell you, you're better off not knowing. It's better being in my little world. If that's what people are talking about on the streets and asking the white van man, do you know what I mean?
I think you're right, Karl. I think you're right. Shall I play a lovely song for you? Because you're getting all stressed now, aren't you?
I've not had a good day.
No, I know. We tell you about it later. It's not a good day. Well, I'm going to play a Neil Young track here of Harvest. It's Alabama. It's beautiful, and this is for Karl.
This is XFM.
Athlete, West Side. I still like that one.
It's a good track.
Yeah, I was worried it's a bit novelty. It would go off very quickly. But it's good.
No, it's not bad at all.
On XFM 104.9, I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Steve.
Well, we were talking about the news just now, and there was a story I heard in the week. I think it was on the radio, and I don't know all the details, but what I heard was that a number of, I think it was Falkland, maybe Gulf War veterans, were, I think, suing or complaining to the government because they wanted compensation for post-traumatic stress disorder. Now, I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but it seems to me that if you're in the army and you're a soldier, a certain degree of trauma is kind of inevitable. I mean, after all, if you're any good at your job, you are going to see people getting killed. So I don't understand what the ins and outs of it are. I don't know why.
No, he already came back and Tony Blair met him and go, all right, well, not really, no. Go on, what's the matter? Well, there was people shooting at us and everything. It was all muddy. Well, calm down, don't cry. Well, I will.
There was a drill sergeant just kept shouting, saying, "Look at you, stupid boy! Where's this gun's not clean?" I just cleaned the gun and it was fine, and now he's telling me to clean it again.
Yeah, the boots they were shining. He's got to do that. It's more distant.
His neck was as big as his head.
Well, yeah, but you don't know what
I don't know what the ins and outs of it are, but
what you got to do is make sure you know what you're going into. That's what I do. You got to check the small print. So if I was, going over to like the Falklands or the Gulf, I'd put man and go, will it be horrible? I go, you at the back, yes? Will it be horrible? It will be horrible, yes. It will be horrible. There will be shooting and lots of death and everything. I go, right, I'm not going to go. And I go, okay then. Okay.
That should be fine, yeah.
Should be fine, yeah. Just like that. Is anyone else scared about this? Pretty much all of us. Okay, then we won't send anyone then.
My brother went into the army, right? Because he couldn't get a normal job. And my dad said, if you don't get a job by such a date, that's it, son, you're going in the army. And, when was the Falklands? Was it about
81?
Right. And he joined back in like 81 or something. And he I don't know, he was in Aldershot or something.
Oh, yeah.
And he wrote back to my mum saying, a bad time to join, bad time in this. So she wrote...
What bad time to join? That's so sweet, Carl, isn't it? That's like, dear Dad, yeah, well done.
Don't know if you've noticed.
Yeah. I was on the dole, that's for sure. Thank you for joining a month before the Belgrano.
Anyway,
go on.
My mum called up, spoke to the sergeant and said, can you leave him out of this one?
Can you leave him out of this one? What, the Falkland War?
He's only just joined, and she called him Chuck, which he got done for. Like, she's one of them, I think it's a northern thing, like saying, how are you, Chuck?
Yeah.
And she called the sergeant Chuck, and the sergeant said to my brother, your mum, she's called up and asked if you can not go, which, of course, we'll see how it goes. But can you tell
What do you mean? Why did the sergeant even entertain this?
Well,
Pilkington, come here. Your mum's been giving me a bit of earache. Now, listen, tell her I've told you, but can you call her? Because she called me Chuck and everything. Can you call her and say you don't mind? Well, not really. Oh, please, because I've promised her say you want to go. No, please, say you want to go. Why was he entertaining this phone call?
Probably because he was new.
What?
Because he was new to the army, I suppose.
Who? No, I mean the sergeant.
I don't know. Maybe they do that.
So what happened? He didn't go in the end?
So he didn't go, no.
You can't do.
But that's ludicrous.
I love it. We went over the top. Pilkington, I've got a note. Yeah. Is this really your mum? Yeah. Okay. No, this seems to be in order.
Because I noticed it says, I do not want to go into the army. I don't want to go and fight. And it's crossed out and it's good. My mum says don't go. Now, you did write this yourself.
No, my mum wrote this. Okay.
You definitely wrote this yourself.
Your excuse. You're going to have to fill envelopes.
No, I'm sure if he was needed, he would have had to go, but I think they made a bit of a special effort. They sort of said,
Well, it wasn't conscription anyway. Oh, no. I was
But were the other soldiers going around just going,
Pilkington.
No, he ended up being a mechanic in there, and he got kicked out for going for a packet of fags in a tank.
What?
Now, wait a minute. Do you mean he nipped down the shops in a tank?
Yeah.
I don't believe that, Karl. You've made
Honest
that
to God. That, and he went off with the sergeant's wife. So that didn't help, and he ended up getting kicked out.
Sorry, your brother's a genius.
I love this. First of all, he gets a call from his mum, going, let him up, and goes, oh, God. Then he goes, where's Pilkington? His mum's on the phone. Where is he? He's near your house, Sergeant. Near my house? Well, why is... No reason. Well, when he comes back, when he's finished, tell him his mum called. And can he get me a packet of fags? Tell him to walk this time.
Wow.
This is ludicrous.
So the sergeant found out that he was sleeping with his wife?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Did your mum phone up and say, let him off?
Let him off this time. Can he... Yeah. That's fantastic.
But he misses it. I mean, I haven't seen him for about 11 years. But ever since he came out, he's just kept getting into trouble and that. And the army, people slag it off. But I think if you're a certain type of person, it's good for you.
It didn't straight him either. How did it?
No.
He was going down the shops in a tank. He was shagging someone behind their back.
It's really weird. It's like back then, he was like a proper adult and he had a house and he collected crystal with his wife and that. And now, he hasn't got any of that.
Has he got the wife?
No.
Has he got the crystal?
Don't think he has.
And he has got the
I
house.
seriously haven't seen him for about 11 or 12 years. I haven't even spoken to him.
Carl's stories always start off nice and funny, and then they just leave me empty and slightly depressed. I don't know whether to hug him or shoot him, put him out of his misery. Can we take Karl to the... phone in if you think I should take Karl to the vets and have him put down, because it's just too stressful.
104.9 XFM.
Hyde's main offender, XFM 104.9. Wow. It's that time in the show where I test Karl on his
homework.
Yeah, for the week. History, the re-education of Karl Pilkington. As you know, we found out last week that he'd taken one GCSE and he'd got an E, and it was history.
Do you know, Steve, I haven't told you this, went shopping on Sunday, buy some new jeans. Was in a shop, saw an old lad who I haven't seen for about 2.5 years. Went, you all right, mate? How you doing? First thing he said, sorry to hear about your exam results.
God. Had he listened to the show, or someone had just told him?
Yeah, he was on a train listening to it on our way to a football match or something.
He knew that you were on the show, did he? He was a regular listener.
First thing he said,
Wow.
so sorry about your exam results.
Haven't people have been coming up to you in the station going, "You all right? Do you want to talk about it?" Or
God.
I know.
well, you did take it pretty badly for a 29-year-old man.
Just a bit of a shock because it annoyed me that...
It wasn't a shock. You knew you hadn't got any.
No, I thought I'd have got a bit more than that. I wasn't expecting,
But you didn't even think you took history, so that must have been a bonus.
Yeah, that's what my girlfriend said.
Yeah.
So, well,
Didn't she say something quite philosophical, which was like, you didn't even have a knee this morning?
Yeah, she said yesterday, you didn't have anything today.
Exactly.
Which was good.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Anyway, okay then. Well, you were tested on Che Guevara. Right, Karl.
We should just remind people what happened, because
This
last
is a
week
little series. I've got lots of these little books, right? They're about like 2.5 inches long by about 2 inches wide. Those tiny little things you see in the sort of on the front counter of Waterstones or Smiths, and it's the Life and Times, a series of all the greats in history. Last week you read about Rasputin. He wasn't impressed.
No.
This week,
this book's a little bit thicker than the Rasputin one.
no, it's the same. I think was it? Maybe the writing's
Bigger
smaller.
writing or something.
But okay, Che Guevara. Who was Che Guevara? Just now, you learnt to pronounce it, right? And how do you remember? You told me the week how you remembered what his name was.
Che is like shake, and his surname is like guitar.
Right.
Chavar.
Okay.
But anyway, right.
Tell us what you know, and we'll ask.
Right. First of all, his name isn't really Che.
Right.
It was something else, and Che means buddy in wherever he's from, Argentina.
Mm-hmm.
Right, that's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. So anyway, he was born, and he was.
By the way, Karl's not reading this from a book now. This is all out of his own head.
This is not pre-planned notes.
No, this is. I mean, I know it sounds written, but he's just.
Yeah.
Right. Here we go.
Go on.
He was born. He had bad asthma as a kid.
Right.
Which I thought was quite interesting because they didn't have cars and that back then, and that's what they're blaming asthma on these days. The bad build-up of traffic and that.
Well, they did have cars, Karl.
Not as many as they have now.
Okay.
So that was something I picked up early in the story.
He had asthma. Yeah.
His dad was into he wasn't a politician or anything, but he was, they were into the politics.
Sure.
So he sort of grew up around a family who was into, watching the news and that and keeping up to date on what's going on in the world. So that sort of rubbed off on him. He went to school. He was doing stuff on medicine.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wanted to be a doctor, or he thought he did.
Yeah.
Anyway, he learned really quick. He did like 6 months work in about 3 months. So he could have some time off school or something.
Right.
So he took that time off and went to travel South America with his mate on a motorbike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he saw all this bad going on in the world. And he thought, oh, this is bad, this.
Yeah.
I could do something here. I could change this, make it a nicer place to live. So he said, what I'm going to do is join a gang that sort of is against the like the government.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Am I right so far?
Yeah.
You're doing very well.
Right. And the woman who he met, who was like running this gang, is a woman called Hilda, who he later married.
All right.
And Hilda introduced him to Castro,
Right.
who was like the head cheese of the gang, who wanted to change things.
Okay.
And so she said, like, this is I think his real name was Engelbert or something like that.
Ernesto.
What?
Ernesto.
She said, this is Ernesto. He does medicine. Should have him in our sort of army. So when there's injuries and that, he can make people better.
Yeah.
So he said, yeah, all right then. So he joined the gang and they went like went to sort of. I'm chopping it down a bit.
No, sure. You're condensing it.
It's not in real time.
No.
So anyway, so they go.
It feels like it.
You see, this is why I just wanted you to ask me questions.
Well, listen. Let's cut to the chase then. So obviously he made his name as part of the Cuban Revolution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what date that was?
About. No, I don't.
Okay. And obviously, so he was a big involvement in that.
Yeah.
In which country was he caught?
It was caught in Bolivia.
Yeah. How did he die?
They executed him.
Yeah.
He shot him, and his last words before he died, right? The guy's there with the gun, and he wasn't scared. He wasn't like crying or anything. He said to the bloke with the gun, he said, "Go on, shoot me. Be a man."
Yeah.
Said,
Yeah.
and they shot him.
And did it tell you what happened to him after that? His dead body?
No, but Suzanne was telling me about this the other night. She said there's more to it than that. They stuck it in a glass coffin, didn't they?
Well, no, but before that, they cut off his hands and his feet
and sent them to the.
No, and because they buried him in different places, and then they buried the body. I think they might have sent the hands to Fidel, but they buried him in an unmarked grave because they didn't want anyone to start using his grave or his tomb as a place of martyrdom. But of course, that just made him even more of a martyr because no one knew where he was buried. So it just meant that he was even more. But that wouldn't work anyway,
because if they did find out, that's more places people can go and sort of grieve. Do you know what I mean? If you've got all these different graves,
what with different parts of his body?
Oh, you've got a foot over there, and it's like, well, oh God,
his head over there.
Thanks for what you're doing.
Yeah.
So all in all,
essentially, what's your summary of Che?
Yeah, you like him more than Rasputin, don't you?
A lot better bloke than Rasputin. I can understand why he gets one of those little books. Well worth knowing about, and good bloke. Did a lot,
Crammed a lot into his short life.
Yeah, but interesting bloke.
But just on the subject of Che Guevara, Steve called me up in the week because he was going through the duty log. We love the complaints on the BBC duty log, and someone had written in because one of the Blue Peter presenters was wearing a Che Guevara T-shirt. And what did the bloke say? Yeah,
this is a series of people can phone in and write and complain to the BBC about different things.
Why would you complain about wearing something?
Well, this was the thing. Is you complain about the best. I mean, there's been some amazing complaints.
Oh, there's some great ones.
The best one, my favourite one that wasn't a complaint, but was actually just someone had to phone in. Was what an excellent edition of Kilroy this morning.
Yeah, but there's lots of that. There's things like Esther was superb. Woman call one.
Woman called. There was a brilliant one I remember once, which was Robbie Williams was wearing a Nike T-shirt on Top of the Pops last night. Product placement on the BBC.
It's just all things like that. Yeah.
But anyway, this was one phone call. There was a presenter on Blue Peter. She was wearing a T-shirt with Che Guevara's face on it.
Right.
And someone had written in and said, or someone had phoned in and said, very worried to see a presenter wearing Che Guevara's face on a T-shirt. Are you trying to turn my children into communist revolutionaries?
Yeah.
Imagine that. Imagine who's thinking that. Who's bothering to phone up with that information, Karl?
Yeah.
Who knows what they're going to say about this show?
Yeah.
I mean, you've been championing the work of communist revolution.
Luckily, no one listening to this show can either write or operate a phone. So I think we're pretty safe. So thumbs up for Che Guevara.
Yeah.
Well done to Karl there.
Yeah, no, I thought it was even brilliant.
All right, didn't I?
But the thing is, you keep saying to us, you don't understand why history is interesting, and yet you're clearly interested by that. You remembered that
Karl,
information.
I've got another. Yeah. I've got a few in the series. Can I give you your next week's homework?
Go on.
There you go.
Oh.
Read it out.
Hitler,
the life and times of Hitler.
1889 to 1945.
Yeah.
Do you know much about him?
What was the significance of that last date? Why did he? What was that last date, Karl? Why do you think he died in 1945?
End of the war.
Yeah.
Which I'm interested in. So this will have stuff about Anderson shelters and that.
It might not be covered in the Hitler biography, the Anderson shelter, but
check if there's a special Anderson chapter, Anderson shelter chapter.
No, I'll look forward to this. Be interesting.
Powdered Egg is page 4.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, we're going to play a hip-hop.
Yeah, it's time for a hip-hop hooray. People are absolutely in love with this feature, Rick, as you well know, and I know you're somewhat jealous of it.
Yeah.
This week, I know that Outkast are currently on the playlist, aren't they, with their new single, Whole of the World? Is that what, the whole world? Anyway, this is a track from the big compilation, Outkast. It's just a sort of compilation of all their greatest hits. And this is a good one. It's called Rosa Parks. Play it, Karl. From their greatest hits album, that's Outkast, and a track called Rosa Parks.
Like it.
Yeah, enjoy it.
Now, we just had a call from someone impressed by Karl, and Karl's very pleased because this guy has actually done a PhD on Che Guevara. So in theory, whatever subject he chose, in theory, he's probably one of the experts in the world on this particular field. Now, hello, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hello, what's your name?
My name's David.
David, now where did you do your PhD?
Did it at UCL.
Did it at UCL, mild college. And what was the actual title of the PhD?
It was Che Guevara's influence on class struggle in Europe in the 60s.
And what did you think of Karl's performance?
I thought he did really, really well. The only thing, I'd never heard those last words before.
So Karl actually knows something you don't know.
Yeah, possibly.
Although you presumably not take that as verified information. You probably wouldn't take everything Karl said as gospel. You'd probably look it up yourself, would you?
I probably would have a look, yeah.
Did you know about babies' eyes?
Sorry?
Did you know that babies' eyes don't grow?
I didn't know that.
You see, that's why you shouldn't take things Karl says as gospel. Because it come out with something, vaguely intelligent, and then say, "Did you know about babies' eyes don't grow?"
Any questions that you'd want to test Karl on? Any thoughts? Any things he missed there on the history of Che Guevara?
I think he did really well, and I think he should be congratulated.
Because Karl has problems with understanding why people are interested in history, and even though he's been reading these books, he keeps saying, "Why does anyone care about history? Why is it important?" What would you say to Karl?
I think he should maybe then look at who Che Guevara did influence and why he still influences people today.
Yeah. Well, he knows that he influenced Citizen Smith, and he knows that if McDonald's ever wanted to swap Ronald McDonald for Che Guevara, it would cost him an awful lot of money. So he is trying to apply it to the modern world. He is having a go.
Well, maybe you should think like why Rage Against the Machine have him on their T-shirts.
Good point, Karl. Why do you think of that? Why do you think they have him on the T-shirts, Karl?
I don't know, maybe that was a design of the T-shirt. Maybe they wanted another T-shirt.
Maybe they wanted Ronald McDonald.
But didn't have any in.
Sure.
And they said, we'll have that one there then.
Well, thanks very much. Just before you go, do you think Karl would be an interesting subject for a PhD?
Yeah, very much so, yeah.
Okay, well, if you're not...
Well, hopefully one day you'll become a professor and you can maybe set that as some coursework.
I could do, yeah.
Karl Pilkington. Imagine that.
Cheers, Dave.
I'm having an MA in Karl Pilkington. Thanks very much, Dave.
Okay, bye.
Cheers, bye.
That's good. My teachers never did that.
What, encouraged you in that way?
Never said well done. So,
Really?
Yeah.
But you never showed up.
Yeah, you had to be in the same room,
They were too
really.
busy saying, "Who are you?"
yeah.
No, but Mrs. Matthews, me head teacher.
Oh, let's not lay into Matthews again. She
not
getting us.
not
But
Matty
she
Matthews.
said
Not
I'd never-
Grimble Matty Matthews.
I'd
we used to call
never
her.
be a high flyer.
If she could see you now. What did she say? You'll never be a high flyer.
She said that to me, mum and dad,
Really?
on a parents' evening. And that was after I'd played the drums in Little Donkey.
She clearly didn't know what she was talking about.
XFM.
REM with Orange Crush on XFM 104.9. Well, nearly 20 minutes to go. I'm Ricky Gervais with me, Steve and Karl. Karl, what did you point to me then?
Just reminded me.
Go on.
Orange Crush. Do you know we were talking the other night about contraceptives?
No, you said to me, I've got to do lots of homework. You look up how they used, in the olden days, how they used to use elephant dung as a contraceptive. And I went, what? And he went, no, look it up. You give me those things. I said, I don't know. Was it they put, when you're running around with dung on the end of your knob, no woman really wants to go near it. Is that how it worked? And he went, come on, you give me things to do.
If you've just written a PhD on how to use elephant dung as a contraceptive, please get in touch. Karl will give the number in a minute.
It's not elephant, it was crocodile.
Oh, right.
Why?
But, yeah, Orange
Sorry,
Crush.
no, you can't. No, whoa.
What?
Back. What do you mean? It was crocodile dung. How did they use crocodile dung as a contraceptive?
I don't know.
Right, go on, Orange Crush, yeah.
So Orange Crush, what it was, I was trying to look up that thing about crocodile stuff, using it, and came up with another one saying that they used to use a lemon, sort of shaped right, and the put it on, and the citric acid in it
Kill the sperm?
would kill the sperm.
Right.
So they would wear the lemon on the end of the knob.
Was that erotic?
It worked.
Listen, I'll try anything, Karl, mate. If that works.
Yeah.
If the ladies like that. I mean, could it be anything? Could it be like, a melon?
Kumquat?
Yeah, maybe. In my case.
What's those hairy ones?
Yeah.
Anyway, it just reminded me when Orange Crush.
Well, thanks very much for that, Karl. It's and that I didn't even ask him to.
No.
Research that. He just-
So Orange Crush reminded you of the lemon contraceptive. Okay. Jolly good.
You could use it as a little lemon squeezer, couldn't you? It could be like a novelty lemon squeezer. You just stand in the kitchen, and then when someone wants to just come along and go on the end of your.
Did you make this lemonade yourself? Yes, I did.
It tastes funny. Okay, yeah.
Anyway.
Would you, Karl, this is a quick question to you. Would you ever sort of find yourself in a situation where you might confuse a woman's breasts with mountains? Is that a concern for you, do you think?
No.
Not a problem for you?
Well, not if they're small and humble, I would.
That's what I'm hoping. That's what, fingers crossed.
If they were small and humble, then I'd pretty much not confuse them with mountains.
Thank God. But I mean, if they were large and sort of pendulous.
And with like quite rocky with snow on top.
Exactly.
Then I'd go, hold on, love.
Wait a minute.
Hold on, love. I was into this, but now
Exactly.
I feel like I'm alone.
Karl, do you know what we're talking about?
Who has done that?
I'll give you a clue. One more time. See, my breasts are small and humble, so you don't confuse them with mountains. Shakira. It's a lyric that
taking
me and Steve
the
are
nation
obsessed
by
with.
storm.
It's quite a nice song. It's got another.
It's very much like, it sounds a bit like Men at Work Down Under.
Yeah, it's got the panpipes.
Is this what's its kid?
Who?
Julio Iglesias.
No, it's Shakira. Consequently, the word Shakira there being mentioned.
I haven't heard of him.
Okay. She's a big Latin star, apparently, big Latin American star. And anyway, just sing it again for us.
See, my breasts are small and humble, so you don't confuse them with mountains. Which is a concern. It was always a concern.
Definitely.
Actually, a number of times she's woken up and there's been a fat bloke with a beard and a little Sherpa. She goes, "What are you doing?" And they go, "We're just trying to climb this mountain." Look again. Oh, sorry, love.
Oh, it's your tits. I didn't
Oh,
realise.
your tits. We thought we were in.
I can't believe it.
I can't. Well, can we camp here? You can't camp on my tits for the night. No.
Well, why are you climbing them?
Well, I just
'Cause
got
they were there.
confused. Well, they're small and humble. Are you mental? Look at Karl. I love that look at Karl. Karl is looking back and forth. You know when you sort of you go to a cat and it looks back and forth between two people. That's very much like Karl's looking at us now.
Or when, like, a child sees a midget or something in the street. They're just transfixed, aren't they? And the parents go, "Don't stare."
When we were pushing Ash, yesterday, our producer's in a wheelchair, and we were pushing
He's
through
not
the
a
VC.
midget, we should make
No,
that
he's not a little midget. He's not tall, but we were pushing him through the VC, and this little kid just came up and just stood in front of him and looked at him.
Yeah.
I just laughed.
It was funny. Do you do that? I imagine you get caught staring at things.
Do you go up to people? Do you go up to people with problems and go, "Mummy, is that a monster?"
Well, I was telling you one about when I used to go with my dad in the taxi.
Oh yeah,
Why,
tell
what
us this
happened?
story.
Well,
Your father was a taxi driver?
my dad he had loads of jobs, which he did back then, and they don't do that anymore, do they? People they don't
Have a
do
variety of
loads
jobs?
stuff.
Sure.
But at one point, he had a black cab, and I used to go with him. Used to get a beer crate and put it in the front of the black cab, and sort of sit just next to the
Comfortable.
meter. And anyway, we got this call, and like the guy on the end of the radio said, "Oh, you've got your son with you, haven't you?" So he said, "Yeah." So it's just like, we've got to pick up at number 11 Village Lane or whatever. And I said, "All right." And it was this woman. It was like a woman version of the Elephant Man.
Wow. The Elephant Woman.
Yeah, it looked like... it was really strange because I was in the front of the cab, and when you're a kid, if something looks odd, you're a bit scared of it, aren't you?
Yeah.
And my dad was like, "Look, it'll be all right." And we're driving towards her.
Don't worry, son. I've got loads of buns.
And just to
I think
give
I'll
you-
just throw one down the street if it lets you run after
You're
it.
being mean, right?
I am a little bit.
So
Yeah.
how old were you, 18?
No, I was about 12 or something like that, 11, 12. And as we got closer to her, it looked like she was holding like a bag of spuds on her shoulder,
For a snack.
Right.
and her head was all a bit mangled and messy and that. And my dad said, "Whatever you do, don't stare at her face."
Yeah.
And she got in the
Because you
back.
turn into stone.
Well, she got in the back, and I had like the mirror, the driver's mirror thing, and sort of having a look, trying to work out. And he said, "Don't stare at her face." I couldn't work out where her face was. It was that weird.
Oh God.
So I'm not sure you're from Manchester. I think you're from, like, Narnia or something.
Yeah, you got frog boys walking
yeah,
around.
the Lord of the Rings.
That got like the claws of a lobster and the head of a toad.
Yeah.
And you got women getting in with spuds for heads. I mean, what
This is not
what
Manchester.
is
This is not the place you grew up. This is
Yeah.
madness.
Oh, you can't believe it in London, can you? You come down and you go, look, symmetry. It must be amazing.
It must be a thing to do with upbringing now, mustn't it? And because, again, do you know, I've said to you before, years ago, when I was a kid and didn't have any worries, good-looking lad, you go through it a bit, have a few more worries, and you look knackered. Now, back there's a lot more worries and stuff, so you get a lot more freaks. Whereas in London, everyone's like happy, aren't they?
I love the fact that stress can cause your fingers to fuse and your heads to grow.
No, but if
She must have been really stressed to have a head.
Yeah. She
Bag of spuds.
was she an accountant or something?
You know what I mean?
But what did she do? What did she say?
Where
when
was she
got in?
going, by the way?
She couldn't speak.
London Zoo, please.
I think she was going to like a
the
pet
fair.
shop. Seriously, honest to God. On my mum's life, she was. Because at the end of the day, that's a good thing with animals. They don't judge you, do they?
She's not
She
an
was an
animal.
animal. She's a human being.
She's not actually an elephant.
No, but
you know the Elephant Man was not actually an elephant. You understand that? He's got no elephant genes in him at all.
No.
That was just a cool name people gave him.
Yeah.
No, it's the name of the disease, isn't it? Elephantitis.
Look, so listen. So this woman, why was she going to a pet shop?
She was going to a pet shop. What, to find a husband?
Is this true?
No, it is true, yeah.
Oh, God.
I'm not taking the mickey because it must be really bad for you.
Of course it is.
Carl, I need to ask.
I'm going on to you today about cutting myself shaving.
Yeah.
I was going on about that. To think that she's probably not alive now, but to think...
But you're saying that you're going to say this is a worse problem than a little cut shaving, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I think you're right.
Carl, there's a couple of key questions I need to ask. One, if she couldn't talk, how did she tell your father where to drive it? Did she have it written on a note?
Did she point with her nose?
Yeah.
Right, this has got silly. Pick your song.
But also, finally, where did you say she lived again?
It was like in a village, a little small village.
Right.
Just hidden out of the way.
All I'm saying is we could maybe get like some sort of coach, book some coaches, get a coach party up there to have a look at her. Take some photos.
And now
you can make some lemonade.
The offspring of a woman and some spuds.
Yeah.
Please enter at your peril. Should it give me a shiny shilling? Wow. Oh, that's terrible. Well, I'm going to play a little bit of Teenage Fan Club song for the lovers here. We left it very late, which has been just rapping with Karl P here, and this is I Need Direction. Teenage Fan Club. Oh. They're a good band, aren't they?
They are a good band.
XFM 104.9. So, we're nearly there. So, will your girlfriend be proud of you now? You performed a PhD graduate there.
It's a bit annoying because she's not in London today. She's in Sunderland or something, or Newcastle.
Right.
Working.
So, she won't know what your greatest triumph. She saw last week's and you got an E in history, and now this week you come through with some great praise that Mrs. Matthews never... laid upon
Even
you, did she?
looked at,
No, just said you won't be a high flyer. Hey? You've shown them, haven't you?
You never know. I mean, I had mates who, my mate Colin Makin, who did the disco with me.
Pilkington's making music, yeah.
Pilkington's making music.
Yeah.
He was dead brainy. I don't think he's up to much these days.
Sure.
You can't plan it.
Yeah.
Just goes to show.
Well, I mean, you can do. There's a certain amount of planning you can do. I mean, driving a tank down to the shops with some fags never going to mean you're a high flyer. You know?
And that woman who you picked up in your black cab, she's in a circus now and she can fly, which is good. Am I confusing that with a film? You went to see a film this week, didn't you? What did you see?
The Monsters Inc.
Did you have a little argument? What was the argument about? Did you have an argument with your girlfriend or something? Because of
Well, the history thing took over last weekend, to be honest, when you found out my results. That was like the talking topic of most of the weekend. And,
why? What did she say?
You brought it on yourself. Why didn't you take it serious?
Was she annoyed or upset?
Well, she just sort of said, you can learn. Look, you learned Rasputin. If only you did that.
You've done that. You've done Rasputin.
Do you know what I mean? She said, you can do it if you're told to. She said, it's only because Ricky's told you to read the book that you're reading it.
Does she think we're sort of like taskmasters?
Does she think we bully you?
Nah, she knows it's just a laugh.
Yeah. What did you tell your parents about your...
No.
No. Never?
Because they never even questioned where my results were, so I don't want to tell them that, I didn't get any.
No. How did they do it at school?
Didn't have them back then, did they?
Right. When was that, Carl? The Middle
Ages.
I don't know. Like I say, back then it wasn't about getting results and that, was it? It was just about learning trades. I mean, my dad, right? He can put windows in his house.
Yeah.
Do plumbing.
He should. It's dark, isn't it? He's done that first of all. Right.
So he can do what? He's got a multitude of different jobs.
Yeah, he can do all sorts. Do you know what I mean? If there's a problem in my flat, I can call him up and say, this isn't working. What should I do? And he'll say
is that not a brain surgeon?
He'll say, "I'll fix it."
Sure. So what about Monsters Inc? What did you make of it?
It's all right. It is a kids' film. It sort of annoyed me.
Is it?
Okay.
I was having
what gave that away? Do you think? Was it the songs? Was it the animation?
Yeah, the fluffy little things that squiggled round on the screen for an hour and a half.
It is annoying because there's kids everywhere and kids don't watch films, do they?
No.
You know what I mean? They're messing around.
I don't know why they make kids films.
And you can't,
to be honest, it's mental.
Can't concentrate properly when you've got kids,
screaming,
making noise around you and that. Yeah. So I'd say my little review, wait until it comes out on DVD.
Okay.
What a great review that would be. Wouldn't that be great? Film 2002.
Yeah.
Jonathan Ross going, well, I don't want to give it away. Wait till it comes out on DVD. Yeah. Oh.
No, but not giving it away. It's just that you can't watch it properly when there's kids screaming around you.
Yeah.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
What are you looking forward to this week? You going to go and see anything?
Just been talking to Ricky now because my missus is away. I'll probably get out a DVD tonight.
Yep.
Rounders.
Oh, right, okay.
I thought you might like that.
And if you can
gambling,
get, I mean, if I can get you tickets, say in the stalls or in a box for the stage version of Midnight Express, would you be up for that?
it's on ice.
I think it's the final year, isn't it?
It's lovely. It's Midnight Express on ice.
Yeah.
And it's a musical as well.
They're on roller skates.
Do you have any dope under your jacket? No.
Yeah.
It's great. John Hurt is actually in this version as well, which is fantastic. He played the Elephant Man. So the universe all comes together.
Have you ever seen the stage version of the Elephant Man?
No.
You'd love that?
Yeah.
Who's in that? I have seen a clip of it. Who plays him?
I think they got a real guy with elephantitis.
Right.
Yeah.
What are you finishing on?
Let's have a final song for the ladies. It's from the album Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me by The Cure, and it's The Beautiful Catch. See you next week.
See you next week, everybody. Bye-bye.